taking away the pain. You made my life so beautiful, my beautifier. You've taken away the shame, you've taken away the pain. You made me just like you, my beautifier. You've taken away the shame, you've taken away the pain. You made my life so beautiful, my beautifier. You've taken away the shame, you've taken away the pain. You made me just like you, my beautifier.
My beautifier.
You have
taken away the shame,
you've taken away
the pain.
Made my life so beautiful, my beautifier.
Taking away the shame,
Taking away,
the pain.
just like you,
Just like you.
my beautifier.
My beautifier.
You have
taken away the shame,
taken away, made my life so beautiful, my beautifier.
taking away the shame,
Taking away,
the pain.
make me just like you,
Just like you.
my beautifier. You
Taking
have
away the shame,
taken away,
the pain.
made my life so beautiful, my beautifier. Yeah.
Taking away the shame,
Taking away,
the pain. You made me just like you,
just like you,
just like you,
in beauty and in power, just like you,
just like you,
in glory and in splendor, just like you, in riches and in honor, yeah.
taking away the shame,
Made me
just like you,
just like you, Jesus.
like you,
You've taken away the pain.
just like you,
That's what you did, Jesus. And just like you, yeah. Woo. You're taking away,
taking away the shame,
made me
just like you,
my beautifier. You
taking
have
away the shame,
taken away, though. I'm so grateful, Jesus.
so beautiful,
You are my beautifier.
taking away the shame,
Taking away, made me
just like you,
just like you, yeah.
Serving you up with the freshest gospel vibes.
My life is so beautiful, yeah.
We ain't stopping till we see heaven on earth.
You're giving me a glorious life, just like you, Jesus. You've taken away, yeah. Made me say, just like you. That's what you did, Jesus, and I'm so glad about it. You've taken away you've taken away, made me
just like
my beautiful. Take it so beautiful, my beautiful.
If I had 10,000 tongues, it still wouldn't be enough.
Up with the freshest gospel
Now
vibes.
am I really? When you hear completely, cool my rope and more. If he can do that, we sing over. For he has done so very over. For he has done so very much for me. You are God, you are God of mercy. You are God, oh, you are God of mercy.
Serving you up with the freshest gospel vibes.
You are God of mercy. You are
Now hear this.
Now hear this.
You are God of mercy. Beginning and the end. You
You are God of mercy. Our now Omega. You are God of mercy. You are everything. I just wanna say thank you, Jesus, for who you are. I just wanna say thank you, oh Papa, for you and love. Oh, thank you, Jesus, for who you are, for who you are. Thank you, Jesus, for you and love. You set me free, you saved me, protecting me, loving me, you're blessing me. You are the King, you're guiding me. You take me where I deserve to be. Jesus, no one like you, Lord. Yes, you are, Lord. No one like you, Lord. You are God. You are God of mercy. You are God. You are God. You are God of mercy. You are God. You are God of mercy. Amen. You are God. You are God of mercy. You are God of mercy.
Thank you, Father. Unchangeable God.
Unchangeable God, you can never change. Unchangeable God, you can never change. From generation to generation, you remain the same. You are worthy, O Lord. You can never change. From year to year, you remain the same. Oh, merciful God, you can never fail. I'm serving a living God who can never fail. Unchangeable God, Idia Wama. Unchangeable God, you can never change. Unchangeable God, you can never change. I sing for you, I praise your name. You are worthy, O Lord. You are my mom. You are my fortress. You are my stronghold.
You are my stronghold. You are the author and finisher of our faith, the one who died and resurrected on the third day, Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God. Good morning. This is Mpɔtam Morning Show with Papa Law Perfect. We stream it live on www.modernghana.com, onlineradiobox.com. I want you to hit the share button, share the broadcast on your page, on your timeline, send the link to your friends. 40 minutes on top of the hour, 6 a.m. GMT in the studios of Papa Law Radio. So I'm going to be with you from now till the hour of 10 a.m. The best is yet to come. I'm going to inform you, educate you, and entertain you. Papa Law Radio, we are the navigators of the airwaves. We are best in news, best in sports, best in entertainment, best in politics, and best in religious affairs. Call a friend to call a friend. That is time for Mpɔtam Morning Show. Good morning, Ghana. Good morning, police officers, lawyers, judges, doctors, teachers, pastors, students, businessmen, businesswomen, entrepreneurs. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, every worker in Ghana. I want to encourage you that the best is yet to come. Stick and stay right here. God is good all the time, and all the time the Lord is good. I want you to know that we have a lot of information for you today, a lot of educational stuff to share on this exalted network. All right, China will have access to Ghana's mineral revenue, electricity sales in default of 4 loans, says the IMF. It's interesting. We have collateralized our electricity sales and especially our mineral revenue for loans from China. Why this China? Why are we Chinalizing almost everything in Ghana? Why? Who asks all these questions? Who have the resource persons to speak to this issue? It's a very sensitive issue in Ghana now. Recently, we were at the IMF for a $3 billion loan. $3 billion loan. And here we are. China will have access to Ghana's mineral revenue. Electricity sales in default of 4 loans, says the IMF. Are we safe in Ghana? Have we collateralized almost everything in Ghana? What are we living for the next generation? Are we safe? Has Ghana been sold? That's the big question on the table today. What a gracious God we serve. I want you to be a concerned citizen. The president, during his first inaugural address, when he was taking the oath of office, he said, don't just be an observer. Be part of the nation building. So we are going to double into this story. I'm going to dig deep and know the nitty-gritty of all these stories. We'll speak to the issues as it is. The good book says that, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. On Papalo Radio, we are credible, we give you the best and nothing else. It's all about the truth. Get hold of the truth and don't sell it. What a day to remember. Go ahead and praise the name of the Lord. Magnify the name of the Lord. David said, I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. In his presence there is fullness of joy. At his right hand there are pleasures forevermore. The joy of the Lord is our strength. Now, yaton Ghana, Edia Machina Fuana. Yakoji Longua, Makumako and 9. Yen 20, you see, your electricity sales, and now say your tone electricity, and for so a beba, near Befim Bebano, China for Ebenya access to it.
Take a look at me, you can see it.
Interesting Ghana.
It is my time.
Near you who ye one say ye minerals reserve and na revenue ye buy ye gold, ye buy ye silver, ye bauxite, ne, and near keka hoa, ye see, ya jilong. Just alone, Bissiadi Abama Broso. Hey, Ghana, a bay yeni. Or my bay ye, Feminu Minara, won't so where they, a nipa, and a ye. Make sure Ghana, Jumaya Fonina, make sure Papalo Radio, a Jumaya Fonina. Yami Shira Monyamokasi on to the Munchemo, a radiatum, any mobro, and Tomino Minuso. I'm not paying a radi on your cassier. Erade na unko no ne umra otikabu na akwa djuma erade e bambon torso erade ani munyam enkata so medumi di obedumi mishira di obeshira o. May the countenance of the Lord be your portion this morning. We want to salute the Chief Justice Justice Enim Yamishra Wabo Juma Obesom Ghana. Just Wabe judge for 21 years. What should be easy? Wabo Juma papa. He has risen through the ranks, becoming the Chief Justice of Ghana. Yamawayiko Wabo Juma papa.
And you're so full.
Onipa beyebi wa meyeni nyina. Justice Enim Yeboah. God bless you and keep you and protect you. But interestingly, whilst the old man is going on retirement, the judicial service of Ghana is on strike. Almost strike it. Almost say a buying a yom crocrot the John. A buying a momu who the echo or show mobo niso. A kufuado a buying. Yeah, the ABC. But Oman Penny John Dramani Mahama says, or say, just a warrior banya a year fun pa, a year fun, a fumu fun, a year. Ekufuado abai. I see Ghanaians have short memory. Near say aka 1.5 years na yakwa kwato aba. Ehwe say Ghana for be refi omure be fi bra ye bre ya na. All right, so stick and stay right here. I want you to hit the share button and share the broadcast on your page, on your timeline. Send the link to your friends. Tell your friends. It's time for Mpɔtam morning show with Papa Law Perfect. Shot fired, fingers crossed. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from every evil. For thine is thy kingdom, the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Forever, O God, thy word is settled in heaven. Let the word of God settle every dichotomy. May the word of God become fresh. Say thank you to God. Bless the name of the Lord. Reverend Dr. Jerry Successful, how are you doing, man of God? I believe you are bouncing what he said, watching you live. Shalom, man of God. On radio and Papa Law Perfect. All right, show produced by Jude GH. My co-host David Santos. Good morning.
Good morning.
Abozigi. The way I watch this video, I say, when you aji papa.
Many dear aji. Many aji papa.
Including what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm very strong like your teeth.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Me, I break bones, papa. I like bones.
So that should tell you how
Since
strong I am.
childhood.
Oh, you break bones.
I'm telling you.
Which of the bones?
The normal bones, you know.
We have different kind of bones.
I only know one bones.
Which one?
I like breaking bones.
So be specific.
I have been specific. Which other bones do you know?
Do you break human bones as well?
No, I'm talking about animals.
Aboa.
The real man kasa.
Allah.
Yeah. When they said the amount for real alcohol, normal, omudi 3 and no. It's abnormal to see anybody walking with the head. Very, very abnormal. And there are a lot of abnormalities in Ghana now.
Yeah, for that one, I agree with you.
On our roads, right here, Community 11.
Oh, just here?
Yes, the traffic light. One is working, one is not working. Those, the opposite direction.
Okay.
The one here facing the other in opposite direction. One is not working. One functions, one does not.
Which is going to cause a problem.
I wonder. So you have to use the other directions on or the opposite directions one.
Yeah.
To move, and it can cause a lot of accident or collision.
Yeah.
So please, whoever is in charge, MTTD, and then National Road Safety Authority, please, DVLA, do the needful.
Yeah.
I wonder why there's so much abnormalities in Ghana as we speak. And then on the motorway, the main motorway, such an international road, a dual carriage, of course, a very solid or solidified, road network. Yeah. And the traffics are not working. And there are ongoing road works there.
Yeah.
Ongoing road works there. And the traffics are not working. Please, it's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Now is look and go or watch and go. And the watch and go, we have people who behave like animals.
And I wonder, yesterday you said, which country is in Ghana to learn about road? Yesterday you were doing a story on people
Liberia
coming to Ghana to learn
about DVLA and their operations here in Ghana.
We
in fact, Ghana has a long way to go.
Exactly.
We are really, really battling with.
In fact, people look up to us, but not to the expectation of ourselves. Because
right.
yes, people look at us, but what we are expected to do, so that when they come, they believe that they've come to a place where they need to get something going.
That's right. Tina Turner, rock and roll queen of rock and roll. She passed on yesterday in her house in Switzerland. Sweet. Those people are sweet. Switzerland.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
She's passed on. May her soul rest in perfect peace. Her noble soul rest in perfect peace. In fact, she's battled with cancer and the likes. She's actually suffered for some time now. May her soul rest in peace in the bosom of our Maker. MPP, do you celebrate when you score an own goal?
Do you
celebrate when you score an own goal? Wow, Bobo. Yes, you can see in Washao. Who jubilate?
The Harry Maguire.
Me bube. NDC for say MPP. Mo stronghold kumawu. And makwako dinkuni. And your friend own goal. Political own goal.
Okay.
As a K to North. And now say applaud. Na NDC win. No mu ye hu dede.
Okay.
Afi what you say?
Matthias pa. Matthias.
O man be ye
every year na.
If you know me no ara.
Every year to.
Ye bobo yi ne bi so share wo mo ho ye.
Yeah.
Aban yi gi loans akese.
Papa.
Omo gi loans papa.
From enra akwani gini din rough.
And a president was uncle P. Kata forum be omo ye wo ho. Na ye interview no na o mampanyi aye bodi ka say they are not in haste, but very soon they will return back to the international market to borrow again.
Just a win and so move.
Ye wo school no show be atade na nya wo dia na sempaboa ye say laboro,
yeah.
Laboro president.
Yeah.
His Excellency Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo. Mema wachi. Oni beautiful Rebecca nyame onhyiram. Name Tutugana ye. Omampanyin Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo. Die na odija nchirima. Eka na odija ya na. Ana washeda. Wani da ho na wo gigi loans this an wo. And then na China for say ye mineral revenue ni electricity sales. Ye default or more loans until no more by take over. Ye call ya na ye buy. Omampanyi Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo may ye sure pass all idea otumfo kachira when you visited the Ashanti monarch. He told you that you have nothing to prove but to leave a good legacy so that you be remembered for one thing. I'm asking, are you still holding on to that advice? Time will tell. David Santos,
Attorney General.
how was your night?
Let me say fantastic.
And then the sweet.
Debbie.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastically fantastic.
Yeah. Including what you are thinking.
I don't think anything.
And including what double clicking is also thinking.
Double clicking, I'm sure, is a company. Maybe you like that name to run a company one day.
Yeah.
So
maybe.
China is going to take over our mineral reserve or revenue and then electricity sales.
Yeah.
Default of 4 loans.
Yeah, 4 loans.
Interesting.
4 loans.
God help us.
But you know, there is something about that story. It's not clear to me.
That's right.
They should tell us deep down how this is going to happen and the reason behind that. The story on the front page is just raw. So Ghanaians want to know the reason behind that.
That's right.
Not just telling us that this and that. We should know. You know, I don't know why we are our natural resources and all that, we are just giving it out just like that, and without any. So what are we remaining to the next generation?
That's right.
And the man is also going around. You are left with maybe 8 months or 1 year to go, and you are still gallivanting, going around and borrowing again. and he is bold, though. He is very bold.
Something must kill a man. All right, so God keep us and protect us. There's a conundrum here. Ladies who bleach their skins are the only ones who have the right to say, I will show you my true colors. Women who bleach are the only ones who have the right to say, I will show you my true colors, because they can turn into a chameleon. Chameleon keep changing colors.
Exactly.
And chameleon changes colors for security. All right, a wife to a husband. Annie, what are you doing? I'm reading. And the husband said, I'm reading our marriage certificate. What for? He said, I'm looking for the expiry date. Oh my God. My God and my Lord. Certificate, you know. And then go for a brewa warim. Remember, ye broom. I de be a focus on my ye broom. Remember, the be so brew. Obi said, Nikro, Nira broadna santran, so bam! Mia no strangulating the kunos, will make you see Yajua, and Yamana Metiska, Koyon, what was a Kawanutum, make Kumam.
Hey,
we chop money in our form.
Serious?
The pocket of a man must be long, not short. Like somebody I know.
Basketball.
It's not for Aki and Popo.
Okay.
So your pocket should not be short as Aki and Popo size.
Okay.
It must be long.
Long.
Very long.
But the hands are not equal.
Yes, but as a man.
As a man.
Yes, as a man. You see, the way I'm speaking with vigor.
Yeah.
Yes, as a man. What makes you a man is when you are active.
You are active.
Yes, you must be active in everything, including what you are thinking.
No, including.
That makes you a man.
Okay. Okay, so your pocket must be long.
Very long.
Not medium.
It shouldn't be short. Some people's pockets are short.
So before you get married, it's very good that when you are going around looking for your genotype, and you should also check your financial genotype as well.
Your financial standing. That's why I say financial standing.
Okay.
You must stand tall amongst the rest.
Oh, okay.
So the man was reading their marriage certificate, realizing that the expiry date is not yet here.
Yeah. It has the starting date, but the ending date is not there.
Thing, I'm telling you.
Unless you use strategy.
I'm telling you. A lot.
So please, this one is going to all of us. When you are trying to get married, it's good that when you are checking, you going around checking your blood group and all that. Check your financial blood group as well.
You check the pocket.
Yeah, the pocket. Rich and poor can marry. Rich and rich can marry. Billionaire and billionaire can marry. But poor and poor cannot marry.
Dangerous.
Yes.
So dangerous.
Yes, because they will give birth to poor generation as well. And so that one too, you need to check.
So today we have motivational quote is simple.
Okay.
It's for lovers, those who are in love with their partners. The only mosquitoes in their net. I have an advice for them. Everybody who is in love or anyone looking for love. I remember we used to have a program on one of the TV stations, Looking for Love. I don't know if it's still running. Being single is so much better than being cheated on, lied to, and disrespected. Being single is so much better than being cheated on, lied to, and disrespected. sometimes it's good to be single than to be lied to be cheated on, and disrespected.
Okay.
This is a message for both parties, both male and female. A lot of people are in relationships and they keep cheating on their partners.
They keep lying
to their partners. They keep
disrespecting
their partners. Your take on this one?
Okay, Attorney, before I address this one, in 1963, in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, the Organization of African Unity, now the African Union, today happens to be African Union Day, so we are celebrating.
Oh, amazing!
African Union. So
one of the brainchilds of the late Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, first president. He engineered this whole thing. He was a Pan-Africanist. I mean, how I wish that we were able to bring Africa together, the United States of Africa. It would have been nice. Though.
It's true.
A continent with more than 2,000 languages. It's another thing to go by. Whose language are we going to use? I think language had also been a barrier to development in Africa. Because the languages are too many.
Much. Okay.
And so we struggle to get connected with each other and run business, because all these things are done out of connections, the connections you have in life. Just this morning, a friend surprised me. I mean, I needed some contact. He just had to. Life is about connections. We didn't talk about that. I could have gone through a lot of stress, a lot of
to get it.
Yes, timelines and all that. Somebody will tell, oh, I'll give it to you, you wait and all that. But within a second, a microsecond, he was just, pushing it to me on WhatsApp. And I want to say, God bless you, Akokraba of Kasapa FM.
Oh,
God bless you. I love you so much.
That's great. Great.
That was, a kind gesture. And I appreciate you so much.
Some people will not give it to you just like that.
Yes. So let's acknowledge our sponsors. Nana One Shoes. They are into sales of all kinds of shoes for kids and adults. Their shoes is of quality. Somebody may ask, why should I buy my shoes for myself and for my kids from Nana One Shoes? The answer is simple. Nana One Shoes have quality shoes. They can be located at Community 11, directly opposite Community 11 School Complex. Contact Nana One Shoes on 0256 8361 12. 0256 8361 Nana One Shoes. Their shoes is of good quality. When it comes to photography, one name stands tall. Shabba Rich Photography. They are into all kinds of photography, passport size photograph, photo shoot for all events, your wedding, your engagement, your birthday parties, your naming ceremonies. Shabba Rich will be at your service. You can call on them any day, anytime. They can come to your home, your environment, your location, and take shot of you. Beautiful shots. They believe in excellence. Call Shabba Rich on 0244 671593. 0244 671593. They are located at Community 11, adjacent the Presbyterian University campus, Thema Campus. Now, when it comes to poultry, piggery, one name stands tall. That is Papa Law Farms. Papa Law Farms. Our pigs, our birds are of good life and they are healthy. Contact Papa Law Farms on 0243446455. 0243446455. Contact Papa Law Farms. We do deliveries as well. Contact us. I will be at your doorstep. When it comes to balloon decor, one name stands tall, and that is Lotilo Balloon Decor. Lotilo Balloon Decor. Contact Lotilo on 0542 371320. 0542 371320. Lotilo Balloon Decor. They are into wrapping of your gift, your wedding stuffs, your engagement stuffs, your naming ceremony stuffs, they are always at your service. Contact Lotte Law. They are located at Community 1, directly opposite Zenith Bank TMA branch. What a gracious God we serve. I'll go for a quick break, and when I'm back, we'll delve into business. Right about now, it's time for a musical break. Stay.
Asampayetia Obayansafo so wo munibia won kana asam Tema futu sam kakre wa asupeme Yo kofi ya woman Omani ya memana Genyi baby ako Wacha za ya wareni Wonsom wanini pa Asadipa wofioye Yamo yembera ye Ebe ya ifiyana Omaya umano Omaya memana Adiwaye nora Nyamichata Nyamana renya Wanso wanyipa Sawaya wanabe Yamo yembera ye Ebe ya ifiyana Wanso wanyipa Nazadepa ofioyo Yamo yembera ye Ebe ya ifiyana Amabe ya ifiyana Amabe yo Asite be ya ifiyana Oh Amabe ya ifiyana Yana Yamo yembera ye Ebe ya Obra you arabo Amabe ya ifiyana Eminoa Yamo yembera ye Ebe ya ifiyana Ese Amabe ya ifiyana Abraya we sabe ya ifiyana ro Ao Amabe ya ifiyana Yamo yembera ye Ebe ya Yamo niye Amabe ya ifiyana Abraya boya Yamo yembera ye Ebe ya Amabe yo Amabe ya ifiyana Abraya warabo Yamo yembera ye Ebe ya ifiyana Sikanye bredo wafa
On my year, a yaminu mienwara, 10 minutes gone past the hour 7 a.m. GMT in the studios of Papalo Radio. We streaming live on www.modernghana.com, online radiobox.com. Stick and stay right here. We have the best of information to inform you so that you will not be deformed. Utie Mpɔtam morning show, our Papalo Radio show. Making sure say we be share broadcast no. Kachi wunya say ontie the ekoso of mind Ghana. You need to be current. You need to be concerned about the issues of our nation. We are all helping to build Mother Ghana. I promise on my honor to be faithful and loyal to Ghana, my motherland. I promise to uphold the good name of Ghana. We are here for the best. Now, few months ago, somewhere July 2022, the government of Ghana first went to the IMF for support. Ghana went to the IMF for a $3 billion loan. The first tranche came a few weeks ago. That was last week. The first tranche, that is $600 million. Ghana want to bounce back. We are told by the president of the land that Ghana went to the IMF not because of gross mismanagement, but they were there because of external shocks. Better still, Ghana going to the IMF for whatever reason because of COVID-19 pandemic, the impact or the negative effect of COVID-19 pandemic. We all know about it. It was a wind that blew across the globe, and the president and his government says it has had a negative effect on our economy. Hence, they are resort to the IMF. And then the Ukraine-Russia war has also had a momentous impact upon this nation called Ghana, specifically our economy. I am here to dig deep, educate you, inform you about the latest. Yesterday, it was in the news that China will have access to Ghana's mineral revenue, electricity sales, in default of 4 loans. 4 loans, says the IMF. And IMF is not like a paper I know in Ghana. It's not PMP, where you doubt the authenticity of their source. These are credible voices in the public domain, and this is a public notice or document. So China will have access to Ghana's mineral revenue, electricity sales, in default of 4 loans. Now I'm going to give you the background check about this whole China having access to Ghana's mineral revenue and then electricity sales. Now let's go. The International Monetary Fund, the IMF, has revealed details about how Ghana's 4 collateralized loans from China have exposed the country to the possibility of losing part of its mineral revenue in addition to electricity sales in the future. For Ghana, Chinese loans have been a reliable funding source for major projects since the year 2000. In 2 decades, Accra has racked up close to $5 billion from at least 41 Chinese loans. After several years of near unbridled borrowing, Ghana is now debt-trapped and wading through its worst economic crisis in a generation, with a current external debt portfolio exceeding $30,000 billion. This loan agreement means in the event Ghana default on honoring its debt obligation, China has the right to use proceeds from Ghana's oil, cocoa, bauxite, or even the sales from electricity to settle the debts. In a lot of debt negotiations taking place within the developing world, China appears to be the most important party at the negotiation table. Although it is the largest bilateral lender in the world, it is opaque about its lending policies and how it renegotiates with distressed customers. And I read, according to the World Bank, the planet's poorest countries faced $35 billion in debt service payment to official and private sector creditors in 2022, of which 40% was due to China alone. Our checks show the West African nation has contracted at least 8 collateralized loans from China with different mineral resources as security against default. As at the end of 2022, Ghana owed China $1.9 billion, out of which $619 million were collateralized loans. Now let me do a breakdown. I'm going to share with you the year, loan amount in $million, the purpose, the sector that borrowed, and then the resource security or the collateral. 2007, the loan amount was $306 million. The purpose was for Bui Hydro Power Project, 400 megawatts CL PAT total of 749.6 MN. Sector, power sector, resource security collateral, cocoa exports. 2012, 75 million US dollars. 2012, 75 million US dollars. Bui Power, Bui Hydro Power Project, 400 megawatts. Additional finance loan, 1. Total, 749.6 MN. Sector, power sector. Collateral or resource security, cocoa exports. 2012 again, Ghana went to borrow 76 million US dollars for the same Bui Hydro project, 400 megawatts. Additional finance loan 2. Total of 749.6 MN. Sector, power sector. Resource security and collateral, cocoa exports. 2013, Ghana again borrowed 850 million US dollars. Purpose, Western Corridor Gas Infrastructure Project, Jubilee Oil Field. Sector, power. Resource security or collateral, oil exports. 2013 again, Ghana borrowed 150 million US dollars. Purpose, Integrated National Security Communications Enhancement Network, that is Alpha Project, Phase 1. Sector, ICT. Resource security / collateral, oil exports. 2019, Ghana again borrowed 186 million US dollars. Construction of 11 coastal fishing landing sites project. Sector, agriculture. Collateral, oil export. 2019 again, Ghana borrowed 211 million US dollars. Purpose, Accra Intelligent Traffic Management System and road completion. Sector, transport sector. Collateral, oil exports. 2019 again, Ghana borrowed 211. All right, that is 2019, Ghana again borrowed 550 million US dollars. Purpose, construction / rehabilitation of selected roads and interchange in Ghana, Phase 1. Sector, transport sector. Collateral, bauxite exports. Collateralized debt is any contracted or guaranteed debt that gives the creditor the right over an asset or revenue stream that would allow it, if the borrower default on its payment obligations, to rely on the asset or revenue stream to secure repayment of the debt, the IMF stated. The IMF has stressed that statutory funds will not be allowed to collateralize revenue streams and issue debts. No objection certificate will not be issued to any statutory fund by the governing authority in this regard. The fund has also requested that the government provides corresponding loans / derivatives for all encumbered assets used as collaterals. China's $2 billion US dollars deal with Ghana sparks fear over debt, influence, and the environment. Source, CNBC.com. Published Thursday, November 21, 2019. The Chinese government has released Phase 1 of funding for a substantial road construction project in Ghana as part of a $2 billion US dollars infrastructure deal, which gives Beijing access to country's reserves of bauxite, a crucial source of aluminium. The deal has drawn criticism from environmental activists, political opposition, and international government investment partners. This is a background story, how we got here. All right, the reason why, if we are not able to meet our loan collaterals, the government or China will have access to our mineral revenue and then electricity sales. So this is the background check. All right, so the deal has drawn criticism from environmental activists, political opposition, and international government investment partners, with a new report from Risk Consultancy EXX Africa highlighting a lack of transparency and increasing the threat to debt sustainability. A Chinese delegation led by Vice Premier Sun Chunilan last week agreed to release the first tranche of funding worth 649 million US dollars for nationwide road construction project, following bilateral talks with Ghanaian Vice President Mahamadou Bawumia. Projects under phase 1 have been sanctioned by China Export and Credit Insurance Corporation, known as Sinisure, with 6 further projects due to be confirmed by the year end. As part of a memorandum signed between the two nations last year, Beijing will finance 2 billion US dollars worth of railroad and bridge networks. In exchange, China will be granted access 5% of Ghana's bauxite reserves. A 2 billion Master Project Support Agreement (MPSA) will see Chinese state-owned hydropower and construction company Sino-Hydro gain access to the mineral, and is part of a wider loan facility worth 19 billion US dollars. Bauxite is the world's main source of aluminium. Beijing sweetened the deal by committing to fund 100 vehicles for the Ghana Police Service and offered a 300 million yuan, that is 42.7 million US dollars grant, and a debt write-off of 250 million yuan. China has a similar arrangement in place for Guinea, with Guinea exchanging 20 billion US dollars in loans across the next 2 decades for access to bauxite ore. Between 2000 and 2017, China agreed around 143 billion US dollars in infrastructure loans across the continent. Elizabeth Stevens, managing director at Geopolitical Risk Advisory, told CNBC via email that while often lauded as offering a shared path to prosperity, such high-profile deals frequently fail to lift African nations' poorest residents out of poverty. This is because African governments often lack the will or capacity to ensure the proceeds from mega projects have the desired trickle-down effect, and Chinese investors do not make this a prerequisite of investment, she added. Last week, in his first budget following the latest IMF visit, Ghana's Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta pledged to boost spending by 21%, promising higher public sector wages, more infrastructure projects. He also announced plans to raise 3 billion US dollars in international debt markets. The expansionist push comes as President Nana Akufo-Addo and his ruling New Patriotic Party, the NPP, look to next year's presidential and parliamentary elections, with former President John Mahama's National Democratic Congress, the NDC, aiming to build an opposition coalition comprising 9 entities. A special report published Tuesday by analysts at EXX Africa highlighted several concerns that are absent from the Ghanaian government spending plans. The EXX report highlighted that overrated spending pledges will increase the budget deficit to 4.7% of GDP in 2020 from 4.5% in 2019. It anticipates that much of the $3 billion debt raising will go towards public sector pay increases and benefit to state employees, along with boosting expenditure in key electoral constituencies. Ghana has a history of dramatic spending hikes during electoral cycles, and this proposed increase comes to a time of slowing economic growth, with output expected to fall from 7.46% in 2019 to 5.61% in 2020 and 4.22% by 2022, according to the IMF. Oh my baby, so Ghana all this while have borrowed enough. We have borrowed more than necessary. What a nation. So yada any nangua bonte. All this period we are doing a lot. Oman beye ye feminu mienu ara sikanibre eda ovuafa. Politicians, what are you saying now? This is an assignment for the whole generation. May God help us. So we'll put on the line an economist who will speak to this topic. This is a very sensitive subject, and we need to delve deep, break it down to the understanding of every Ghanaian. May God help us. May the hand of the Lord rest upon us. May God keep us. May God protect us. The IMF, God help us. All right, so show produced by GGH, my co-host David Santos. All right, a blessed morning from my very own friend Joseph Corte. Man of God, how you doing? I believe you are bouncing well. Kingdom FM. All right. The Lord is good all the time, and all the time the Lord is good. May God keep us. May God protect us. Of mine be ye for me new. Let's do our possible best and save this nation from this economic mess. May God be a helper. May the will of God for our lives come to pass. I'll go for a quick break, and when I'm back, the economists will speak to the economical issues. Good morning, Ghana. Important morning show with Papa Law Perfect. 30 minutes on top of the hour, 7 a.m. GMT. I'm going for a break. I'll be right back. Stick and stay right here.
Asampaetia Obayansa fuso wo munibia wanka na asam Zema futu sam kakre wa supeme Yo kofi oman ya woman Omani ya memana Genyi baby ako Wacha za ya wareni Wonsom wanyinyi pa Asa dipa wofioye Demo yemberaye, ebe ya ifiyena. Omaya umano, omaya mamana. Adiwaye nora, nyamichata, nyamana renya. Wanso wanyinyipa, sawaya wanabe. Demo yemberaye, ebe ya ifiyena. Wanso wanyinyipa. Zazepa ofioyo, kamo yemberaye, abeya efiyana, amabeya efiyana, amabeyo, asite be na winya Yamishira Mamani Paya Zefua Enyanum Yafanya Misroya Jumana Yami Besrayan Abraya Boya Amoya Muraye Ebe ya Efi Yanara Amabe ya Efi Yanara Hejano Mafofo Asite Be ya Efi Yanara Amabe ya Efi Yanara Azize Yamoya Muraye Ebe Yafa Ejibenkawa Amabe ya Efi Yanara Yanaro Yamoya Muraye Ebe ya Efi Yanara Ese Abrade ya Efi Yanaro Asitebe ya Efi Yanaro Amabe ya Efi Yanara Yamoya Muraye Ebe ya Yajobi Yayazo Efi Yanaro Yamoya Muraye Saeba Okarana Washawa Amabe ya Efi Yanara Amabe ya Yamoya Muraye Wasa Chibara Wadongana Wasa Amabe ya Efi Yanaro Yamoya Muraye Ebe Ajajabe Amabe ya Efi Yanara Yamoya Muraye Ebe ya Efi Yanara Asampa etia Obanyansafo so wo munibia wonka na asam Ze mafutu sam kakre wa asupeme Yo kofi Omaya woman Omani ya memana Genyi baby ako Wachaza ya wareni Wonsom wanyinyi pa Nasadi pa wofyoye Yamo yemberaye Ebe ya Efi Yanara Omaya umano Omaya memana Adi waya nora Nyamichata Nyamana renya Wonsom wanyinyi pa Sawaya wanabe Yamo yemberaye Ebe ya Efi Yanara Wonsom wanyinyi pa Nasade pa ofyoyo Yamo yemberaye Ebe ya Efi Yanara Amabe ya Efi Yanara Amabe yo Asite be ya Efi Yanara Oh Amabe ya Efi Yanara
Right, on my be ye feminu mienwara Papalo Radio ni Mpɔtam dwumadie nie no nson aboapa ho sima aduasa ensia. It's 7:36 a.m. in the studios of Papalo Radio. We're streaming live on www.modernghana.com, onlineradiobox.com. I want you to be part and parcel of this show. Let's do it together. Be interactive. Send your comment, your views, your thoughts on the IMF issues. I have on the line to speak to the issue Honorable Solomon Asante of the MPP. Is a communication officer of the MPP. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. I hope you are also doing well.
The Lord is faithful. We are doing very, very well. How's the family?
By the grace of God, we are all doing well.
We thank God. So welcome to Papa Lord Radio. We'd like to take your view on the IMF. There's been a report that China will have access to Ghana's mineral revenue and electricity sales in default of 4 loans. The International Monetary Fund has revealed details about how Ghana's 4 collateralized loans from China have exposed the country to the possibility of losing part of its mineral resources. and in addition to electricity sales in the future. For Ghana, Chinese loans have been a reliable funding source for major projects since the year 2000. In 2 decades, Accra has racked up close to $5 billion from at least 41 Chinese loans. Honorable, quite recently, just last week, Ghana had the first tranche of the IMF loan, that is $600 million out of the $3 billion we are seeking from the IMF. The president has made it clear, and he was very emphatic, that they are at the IMF for a very good reason, and the reason is because of external shocks. That is the Russia-Ukraine war, and then the COVID-19 pandemic has been the cause. Your take on this one, Honorable?
Thank you very much. In the first place, let me make this clarification. In your introduction, you mentioned me as a part of I'm a constituency. I'm not currently a constituency officer.
Okay.
I used to be a constituency chairman for Amasaman.
Okay.
Prior to the 2016 election. After the election, I decided not to contest because I'm no more a constituency officer.
Okay.
But currently a member of the national communication team.
I think I did that. Thank you anyway. Sorry about that.
No problem. To the issue. Every agreement or contract comes with terms.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, if I am coming to marry your daughter, you as the father-in-law, you'll be telling me, this, my daughter, please, my son-in-law, make sure this, make sure don't do this, these are all these. You'll be telling me things. And I have to listen because those are the terms by which I'm going to live with your daughter. I hope you understand me.
That's right.
Okay. Now, should I default any of the terms that you have spelled out to me, that is where we'll be looking at possible sanctions that perhaps you have stated in the terms. The same way happens to this loan the facility that we've gotten from IMF. IMF has given us some facility, but prior to the release of the first tranche, there is the need for Ghana to have discussions with its foreign partners that they're taking facilities from, which China happens to be a
major partner.
People.
That's right.
Yes.
A major partner.
Yes. Then, in the IMF report, it states out that should we default, that does not necessarily mean that we have
defaulted.
Now, listening to what the president said, the president told us that we are going to ensure that we follow the terms given to us by the IMF so that we can even move on to taking the next tranche. So there is no way government is positioned in a way to even default, not to talk of the subsequent sanctions or whatever China will be doing to us. It's good. As a nation, that's China.
We should be concerned.
In the contracts between us and them, so as to make them secure. Because you owe me, you've been paying, you've been servicing. Now you say, okay, because of A, B, C, D, we should give you that relief for a period. Okay, China will do it for Ghana. But if we are doing it, what is the surety? What is the guarantee that if we give you that relief, you will certainly pay after the period we are talking about?
That's right.
And that is where, okay, so you assure me you pay, okay, fine. Okay, what if you don't pay? What should I do? So China should secure, should guarantee the repayment.
That's right.
Of its money from by Ghana. And that is where it comes in that, okay, should you default, you do this, you do this, you do that. It's like going for a loan in the bank. Okay, bring your guarantee or your something for guarantee.
Collateral security.
Collateral. You bring your documents, a house document or your house papers. That does not mean the bank is taking your car from you.
That's right.
But it means
in any eventuality, unforeseeable, in any eventuality or unforeseeable situation.
Yes. If you really cherish whatever it is that you use as a collateral, you make sure judiciously you service the facility so that they will not take that. And that's what the president said. In fact, the way and manner the IMF is releasing the money, the first tranche came upon the signing the agreement at the board level, and that was 600 million. Now we are looking forward to another 600 million in November. And how would that 600 million come? The second is it will come when the various conditions that have been spelled out for this very one that we have gotten is judiciously followed, so that by November they will sit down for a review to review. Okay, you can say when you say you've done it, you say you should do that, you've done it. Okay, then let's release the next tranche. 600 million it comes. I hope you understand.
So financial
discipline. We are in
discipline.
need of 3 billion. Of which just a fraction has come. The president is, we are going to follow whatever directive it is, so that we make sure we receive the whole money. And the whole money is coming in trenches. So definitely, as the president has assured the nation, we are going to ensure that the various steps that they put in place will follow them, so that by the end of the period, the review period, we'll be entitled to the next tranche that is agreed on.
All right.
So we shouldn't think that by that statement it means we are selling off our whatever it is to China.
Mineral revenue and the electricity sales.
It's a form of security for them. Because you and me know that I can't give you something without having any assurance, any collateral to prove that in case you are not able to, fulfill that pledge of yours, then you have something in place to take. You can't just do that.
So Ghanaians should not panic.
We shouldn't panic at all, because we didn't go in for 600 million. In fact, it's not. In fact, the 3 billion itself is not enough. But we were fortunate to have agreed on 3 billion. And the 3 billion, we didn't even get 1/3. We didn't get 2/3. We got just a fraction.
So it means until we are financially disciplined, the rest wouldn't follow.
It won't follow. That is how the agreement is. That is why, you see, though we are taking this facility for 10 years, and we have a great period of 5.5 years. So it means from now to 5.5 years' time, we will not be servicing the facility. The facility itself is an interest-free facility. We are not going to pay any interest on it.
Is that the difference between you going to the IMF and then the NDC going to the IMF? Because we are told the NDC had about 10% on top of the loans they received. Is that right?
Our lawyers will tell you, res ipsa lucite. This is the matter speaks for itself. You just analyze what you are saying, put them together.
All
you
right.
See where
so, Honorable. Yes. Okay.
And we are supposed to pay by 10 years time, but within the first 5.5 years, we are not paying. But if you start from after the 5.5 years, then the next 4.5 years, we are supposed to pay that 3 billion. Now we have just received 600. If we truly want the money, then we have to go by the terms that are
conditions, terms and conditions.
And we have different reviews to go. To undergo before the completion of all the 3 billion comes to us. The first review will be in November this year.
That's right.
After which, if we successfully pass, then another 600 million will be released. So Ghana should be rest assured. We needed 3 billion. We've gotten only 600 now. We need the rest. In fact, we need a 2.4 billion. We need the rest.
That's
so
right.
Definitely, as the president has assured the nation, we are going to ensure that the various terms within the first tranche that we have agreed on, the nation Ghana is going to follow judiciously, so that by the November, the first review date, we will have a big story for us to get the next tranche. So we shouldn't be panicking at all.
All right. Honorable, the president is in Qatar for a forum, and on the platform he was interviewed, and he said, yes, Ghana is not in haste, or we are not rushing to go and borrow or to the international market, but when he deems fit to go back or return to the international market, we'll go and borrow. Currently, we have 8 collateralized loans from China with different mineral resources as security against default. As at the end of 2022, Ghana owed China $1.9 billion, out of which 619 million were collateralized loans. What do you say about this one?
You see, there is this thing that we need to understand. In our 1992 Constitution, there is this principle that is embedded in it. That is the rule of law and the separation of powers. Now, separation of powers, the president cannot unilaterally take a decision. I hope you understand me.
That's right.
The president, yes, willingly will want to do this. But before it sees the light of day, it has to pass through the second arm of government, which is the legislature. I hope you understand me.
That's right.
Yes. So, the president will propose. But it passed through a system. The legislatures needs to sit down and see our position, whether the merits and the demerits and all this, put them into consideration before
right perspective. That's right.
I hope you understand. Before agreeing on, so the president as a person cannot unilaterally. Yes, he's represented a nation.
That's right.
He's spoken his view, what he thinks moving forward we should be doing. But before it comes to light, it needs to pass through the Parliament of Ghana, and that is where they will scrutinize. That is where issues, when they discuss, will come to the public domain. People will be, as we are discussing, to come to the media. Everything people will be discussing. The views of Ghanaians will be taken into consideration, and if then it is deemed as necessary, it will sail. If that is not deemed as necessary, Parliament will not approve that. I hope you understand me.
That's right.
So this is how it is.
All right.
So yeah, the president is represented. At the time he's making this speech, that is his view. I'm not sure you and I know very well. As at the time he's giving this speech, he has not consulted. There's nothing in front of Parliament to discuss about. Of a new loan or something. Yes, but when he gets there, it is the work of Parliament to see whether, looking at our condition, putting this and that together, the merits and merits of the whole thing, whether it is necessary, whether it is prudent for us to go ahead to do that. And the final outcome will come from the decision of Parliament. Okay. Because they will need to
All right. Honorable, with your permission, when governance is a continuous process, as we always say, year 2007, under the government of President John Ajekunkufo, government borrowed $306 million for Bui hydropower project, 400 megawatt. And the sector was the power sector, and the security, the collateral security, was cocoa export. 2012, we borrowed $75 million for the same Bui hydropower project, that is 400 megawatt, and the sector was the power sector. And the collateral was, again, cocoa export. When you look at the sequence or the sequential order of all these, 2012 again, 2013, 2019, and 2019, we've been using our mineral resources for all these. What's the brain behind this?
Africa, as we say, developing nations, God has blessed us with natural resources.
That's right.
Unlike those of the Western world. So they have what we want, and we also have what they also need. Now, if we go in for what we want from them, they want what is called security. And the only form of security that we have are those mineral resources. So that is definitely what we give out. But as you said, governance is a continuous business. So in the wisdom of this very government, if you had watched, there have been two instances where the government had wanted to shy away from the traditional way that government, in this fourth, it even started from President Kufuor, but go back to 1992 when we started the fourth Republican dispensation. You realize that during President Rawlings' time, such things also happened. So this very administration decided to shy away from the traditional way of going in with resources and security here and there, and to sway to some sort of barter system stuff. That there wouldn't be anything like security. So you heard of this hydro, today you heard of this gold for oil. You see, there are steps that government is trying to improve on this very discussion that we are having, that why should we be using our mineral resources for collateral for years? Okay, fine. I need this. You also need this from me. Okay, if that is the case, if I'm coming for your oil, instead of I don't have the dollar to give, I have the resources that you also need. So let's do that pattern. The equivalence of it. Let's give. So that you owe me, I wouldn't owe you.
That's right.
I hope you understand.
That's right.
Yes, the same thing happened to the Sino Hydro, this boss lighting in stuff. So it's just the beginning. And everything when you start, you will have challenges. But I pray that with this idea that government is having, government that will come after this government will follow, try to improve on this new idea so that we can completely shy away from the system where we use our minerals as collaterals. Then we start implementing that of this exchange or barter that you call it with our partners. I hope you understand.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, this is how I see it.
Honorable, let's look at our debt sustainability. Ghana has a history of drastic spending hikes during electoral, cycles, and this proposed increase comes at a time of slowing economic growth, with an expected output to fall from 7.46% in 2019 to 5.61% in 2020 and 4.22% by 2022, according to the IMF. What are we bracing up for in the coming year? Remember, in 2024, Ghana is going into elections, parliamentary and presidential elections. What must we, as citizens of Ghana and the government, do to sustain our debts?
You see, Ghana, as I said earlier, we are developing. And it is a matter of time. Let's start with from maybe the Second Republic.
That's right.
Coming till this Fourth Republic. The trend hasn't been any different. We always go in, borrow, we always go in, give. If you could remember, President Kufuor's time,
that's right.
We were told that when he was about to leave, we were told that the total debt of the nation was around, I think, 9 billion or so.
Yeah.
Yes. And then when the NDC was leaving in 2016, we were told it's around 127 billion or something.
Yes, 127.
And now it has escalated. So that has been the nature of our governance. But we are looking forward that as government come, government go. With innovations, just like the one I spoke to you earlier, in this innovation of these batters, with innovation, gradually we'll be getting there. You know, Africa, the white has a long, sort of,
that's right,
taking us for, now I wouldn't want to use the word granted, but since I'm the better word, let me just use granted for now. So we are trying our best. It's just a matter of prayer that we'll get leaders who will be coming and be having innovative ideas. That is alternative ideas than the traditional
way of doing politics and governance.
And the alternate ones which should be that which will inure to our benefits. Something like this goes for oil. If all things be equal and it goes well as it has been planned, I think it's the best of ideas, because for all these years since our independence, we go in for loan, and then we have, they say our international debt is this, our international debt is that, we are paying with interest. But today, so a government comes and says, look, it's too much. Let's devise another means of trading with our foreign partners. We don't have the cash to pay, the dollars to pay, but we have resources that God has given us. We are sitting on resources, and resources are money itself, all capital. So, okay, let's go in. Trade with them. Tell them that, like, we have bauxite here. You are interested in this bauxite. We have a larger deposit of them. So what would
so Honorable, why don't we move from the primary, secondary, and then the tertiary, and then have our own finished product than giving the raw minerals or resources to them? That's one of the worries of.
It's a gradual process. If you remember, all that we are talking about is about industrialization.
That's right.
Yes, because we need to process our raw materials in order to come out with, like, if it is cocoa, we shouldn't send cocoa outside for it
the
to
fresh one.
Yes, before it comes back for us to buy. If it is good, it shouldn't go outside there for it to be turned into maybe
jewels and all that.
Yes, we should be able to do, but it boils down to industrialization. Fortunately, we now have the after headquarters in Ghana, and this after. Hello.
We are listening, Honorable. We are on the line.
Yes. And this after Golden that we have, after Secretary that we have in Ghana, what is it doing? In fact, it started a guided trade.
That's right.
I think somewhere last year, the last quarter of last year. And in the guided trade, 8 nations were involved. 8 nations were involved. So that's a trial trade. That's a guided trade. And then in Ghana, we have 2 companies. We have Kema Ceramics, Keda Ceramics from Shaman. And then we have benzo oil, the palm kernel oil. Yeah. Being exported from Ghana to Kenya. Then these ceramics to Cameroon. You see, it's a gradual thing.
Honorable, we also have top. We have top. We have top oil. Somewhere on the Chifu Praso Road. I think I've forgotten.
Yes. So you see,
Unilever, one of the agencies.
It is going to promote the trade, the industrialization, the sector, because most of our traders, as we say, we are an import-driven nation. We have about 95% of our traders into importing. So every day they need the dollar to change to go and buy their things. But I always advocate that if we can get a group of these traders, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming together to form a factory, an industry here in Ghana, so that they can in turn export. It will help in the story of, or in the narrative of our balance of payments in the country.
That's right.
And that will be gradually will be moving from now. Who do you expect? Because government do not have the money. So who do you expect to be building this factory? That is why in the wisdom of this government, they try to bring on board the policy of the one district, one factory. Since government do not have the money to establish a factory itself, it formed partnership with PPPs, with other private
partnership
investors. Yes, and then they started. So as I'm talking to you now, we have about 296 in the country. Where about 150 are completed and operational, the rest are various stages of completion. It's a good story to tell because before this government, Kwame Nkrumah left us with bequeathed us with over 300 factories.
No, 450 factories.
You said 450?
450, yes, sir.
I always say 300, but let's be charitable. Let's say 300.
That's right.
Let's say 300. Now, 300, it got to a time we realized whom, if in some country, I can boldly tell you, in some countries, some time ago, it was being, name was being mentioned as the owner, the person who has acquired from the government.
That's
you understand me?
Yes,
but the particular government, all these government, we have the match factory, we have the boss factory, rubber factory, jute factory. Where are they?
Honorable, the reality is that the CPP leadership is always of the view that when you wanted to start the 1D, 1F, they actually made a proposal that why don't you revamp and renovate what Dr. Nkrumah left, but you insisted on breaking grounds and starting your own thing to take the credit. But governance is a continuous process.
Hello?
Honorable.
Please, can you come again?
Yes, I said, based on research, the CPP leadership have always been of the view that when you brought the idea, it was a perfect idea, the 1D, 1F idea. They were of the view that since Dr. Kwame Nkrumah left us about 450, which you say we should be charitable a bit, so at least 300 per adventure, even if it's 200, they were of the view that why don't you use the resources available to revamp or renovate these industries or factories and then turn it into a first line way of making money for the country?
You see, I told you about the government's limitation on funds.
Okay.
Government do not have the funds. If you remember, before this government took over, I don't know whether you were in Ghana or you could hear that the elsewhere government was saying, the president was saying, then the ex-president, I'll put it that way, was saying that if it is a meat, the meat has been chewed, it's left with bones.
We heard
yeah,
it.
Only bones.
That's a political cliche.
That government do not have that monetary or capital strength to say I'm going to renovate this. Where is the? That is why I say it started this 1D1F by forming the PPPs so that they will bring on board the private investors, private industrialists to come on board. They will create an enabling environment so that they can be able to put up all these factories to sort of support the system. And that is where we are. I know maybe to get to a time, government will have money to sort of personally say, okay, government has started, I'm putting this factory is for government, that factory is for government. I know we'll get there, but once we don't have, and there is the need for us to create employment, there's a need for us to, enter into industrialization, then there's every need for us to partner with private investors to ensure that these things are done. So what you are saying is true. Government could have done it. I agree with the CPP, but since the resources were not there, what best could we do? The best we could do is to get in touch or partner with the private sector to ensure that this one district, one district, one factory becomes a reality. I hope you understand.
Yes. A lot of Ghanaians are always of the view that one government start a project, brilliant idea, and the next government or the subsequent government throws it away. The NDC keep accusing the MPP of abandoning most of their projects. The MPP at the time when President John Ajekun Kufuor left office also came back biting their teeth towards the NDC, claiming they have also abandoned their project. Honorable, how can we curtail this situation going forward?
It is true that, as I always say, governance is a continuous business. So when you come to meet an effort of your predecessor, there's every need to sort of continue so that whatever input that has been made will not go to naught. But unfortunately, that's not what we realize. What we see is that governments that come after governments keep abandoning. Let's start from, I don't know, I can't tell, unless you can pinpoint one, that when Jerry Rawlings went, our former president, may so rest in peace, and when Kufuor came, there were some projects of Jerry Rawlings that Kufuor should have completed and he didn't. I don't know, I can't pinpoint one, but I can pinpoint some from the elsewhere Kufuor administration that was not attended to by the
NDC.
The NDC under Atamils Mahama when they took over.
That's right.
Under I think Honorable Akman Uswajiman, these housing projects,
that's right,
some in Mpɔtam and other things, when the NDC government came, they were not continued with. I hope you understand me.
That's right.
But look at this government. We came to meet and supposed 200 blocks, which in fact, on the grounds, the completed ones were less than 27. But the president of the day,
according to Felix Ofosukwachi, he said it's 29.
20, okay, let's take his words, 200, so 29 over 200, right?
That's
and
right.
Then even when the new administration came, that's President Bernardo Dankwa Akufo-Addo came, he made sure that at least those e-blocks that have gotten to some level, some were completed. And the typical one I can mention is that of the Aflao one, which became very topical because of the issue that ensued before its completion. Yes. So you could see that if that is that, look at this Suhum Road, Suhum Apega Road, since President Kufuor left, it has been there. It was only
I've seen the expansion. Yes, I applied the road.
So yeah, our government started it 8 years.
So why do people say that? Why do people say that we have not seen anything? MPP is not doing. Is it lack of communication, or there is a break between the citizens and the government?
One, I will attribute to lack of proper communication. If I say proper communication, it entails a lot. The reason why I'm saying that is the thing is done at, for instance, between Suhum and Apega.
That's right.
How would it be communicated? Those that are living there, they know it. But how could it be communicated to other parts? Maybe those in the Savelegu, Sanelerugu, Larerugu, Ishigu. How are they also going to know that? And even when you tell them, how are we going to tell them for them to understand that, yes, something of this nature has been done?
That's right.
I hope you understand.
That's right.
So it is the proper communication, but I hope we'll be getting there. I hope we'll be getting there. Because recently, when it comes to youth, our communication outfit has availed a well-structured booklet with pictures showing the rules where it has been made, the kilometers that have been made, the number of kilometers that have been made.
I hope it's not going to be the green book.
This is not actually not a green book. This is a white book. And you know what white means.
White means holy, eh?
It is not a green book. It is a white book.
Anyway, green also means life.
You say green means life?
Green means life and health.
But we saw what it turned to be, especially when we are talking about Eastern Corridor Road. They
That's
told
right.
us that it was captured in it.
That's
and
right.
it was this very administration which came to see to its completion. I made a panda inside
That's
that road.
right.
So you could see what sometimes life can actually mean.
That's right. That's right.
It can be deceptive. And I would agree with that.
Okay.
I hope you understand me.
Yes, sir.
But all that I'm saying is, I always keep advocating for this. I think Ghana moving forward, we need to advocate for national development planning.
So you are. I think I'm on the same wavelength with you. I believe in this.
Than political political party manifesto. Yes, I think national development planning should be
because
and this is how we should do it. We should get all the political parties
involved on the same table.
Look, every political party, you have to bring your 50 years manifesto. You bring it.
Interface with
everybody presents 50 years manifesto. We sit down. But let's brainstorm with technocrats, people who have ideas in the various sectors within that the economy,
so that we can interface it.
Manifesto.
Yes.
Then we draw.
So that
when you come as a party, maybe end this, you come and you turn into government. You know there's a path. There's a national path.
That's right.
So you'll be measured by the quantum and quality of delivery within that component, within that national chart that we are cutting. Yes, that is okay. When they came, the hospitals they built them before. So we are bringing this boy, and then this boy will come. Maybe they come and build to. Oh, so okay. So the government that built for did better than that. That would be not that I come, I will do this, and then this person will come. Look, we are talking about housing. I told you first one, the Mpɔtam one that in Accra here. They were all there, but NDC came on the other one, Mahama, and this. They came to do cycling. The money that they agreed on and took to undertake 5,000 housing units. Later, the same money, it did only less than 1,500. How do you understand me?
Yes.
Meanwhile, there are other housing units that have been started, initiated in the Kuko area, which were in the bush. All with the taxpayers' money. I hope you understand me.
Honorable, you see,
we should be looking at.
I agree, but I like your submission. I mean, but I'm looking at this equalization and accusation back and forth. I think it must cease. To a larger extent, let's look beyond our parties and be nationalistic. One thing I have discovered is this: we hold this, excuse my word, this primitive mentality or those colonial mentality that yes, when somebody started and I finish, the person who started will take the glory. So when I come, I need to break grounds, follow grounds, and prove a point. If it's even blocks, I'll lay the foundation. At least people will know that I'm doing something. So I agree with you that let's get to a point where we'll come to the table, bring your development plan. I remember President Mills at the time proposed 40-year-old plan or something. I don't know if it's the NDC or the MPP, but I know for a fact that there was that consultations and meetings that was ongoing at the time, that we should have a national development plan, which I remember there was even a committee or a commission formed for that main purpose, but it never saw the light of the day. So I agree with you. We are on the same wavelength that let's advocate. The advocacy must be strong so that people will get hold of better living in Ghana. Honorable, finally, because I know you are a very, very busy person and you have a lot of engagement. So Ghana borrows 13.5 billion from China since 1998. Honorable, what do you think Ghana can do to stop borrowing and be independent as a country?
Thank you very much. It's very basic. It's very basic. When God created man on earth, there was no industries.
That's right.
People were not borrowing. But how were they living? The first job description that God gave us is to tilt the land.
That's right.
The essence of this advocacy is not lost in the system. It's still with us. Just tilt the land. And we are fortunate as a nation. Our land It's very good for so many things. Anything at all that you put.
In fact, we have an arable land. Ghana has an arable land.
That is it. So, you, the one interviewing me this morning, how are you prepared to help Ghana in moving towards that direction? And myself, the one being interviewed, I'm also going to help Ghana in moving towards that direction to help the economy. That in the end, they will all culminate into sort of disallowing or not creating the enabling environment for government to go and do what? Boom. Now, after we're doing this, we should be getting the traders, those by the grace of God, they are blessed with finances, capital, the resources, so that they will be taking this produce, and then be turning them into something else, add value to them, so that we can also say we are exporting this, we are exporting that.
That's right.
It's basic. This one is not about government. This one about you and me as Ghanaians.
Certainly.
Of course, government has a stake. But we shouldn't forget that the basic stakeholders will be you and I as Ghanaians.
Certainly.
Now everybody is looking out for white-collar job.
Honorable, there is this adage that the fish gets rotten from the head. So if the government, those who are in charge of the reign of the leadership of this nation, are not doing the needful, then it trickles down to the ordinary citizen who also...
I side with you, because even before these things that I'm talking about, you doing your part, I doing my part, there should be a directive.
That's right.
There should be a clear path. There should be an order. Let's do this. We are going this way. This is the direction. Then we shall be following. Definitely we'll be getting the recalcitrants, but at least the majority will be the people who sort of follow and listen to the directive, and then we move in that direction. I hope you understand me.
Certainly.
So that's what I'm saying. I am praying that we get to a point where we will sit down as a nation and then draw a national development plan with all stakeholders. I'm referring to various political parties. Bring your 50 years manifesto. It means for the next 50 years, no political party is going to draw
certainly
a manifesto. Everything is embodied in the national development plan. It's just a matter of implementation. How well you do it and the quality of delivery. That is what the people are going to use to judge you or to vote for you on the next elections. This is the way we should go. So if, as I'm saying it, and you say you side with me 100%, somebody's also saying it, and government sees the need in it, and we are not going to politicize, because the moment political party A forming government decides, okay, then I'm going to do this, political party B, who is in the position, will start saying all negative things about it. So if we aren't going to politicize it, and we see the need in look, this is the way forward, then I think Ghana will see the light, because by that path, we'll definitely get it.
That's right. Honorable, your final words.
My final word is just what I've told you. It all starts from you and I.
That's right.
The person listening to us. We are the Ghanaians. We are crying for our future, the children that are coming to take over the reins of this nation. How well do we want to leave the nation for them?
That's right.
It starts from today. Let's try to turn to our God-given profession. No matter what you are doing, I know most Ghanaians, they have their offices, they are doing their office work all right, but they still go to the family, have farms.
That's right.
Let's start, everybody, backyard garden. Look, small. Today we were talking about, the last quarter of last year, we were talking about the prices of food stuff going up, jam, plantain. Come and see my house.
That's right.
Just behind my building. I put out some plantain and some cassava. And as I'm talking to you, I wake up with them, I look at it, I say, wow.
The land is arable. Anything you put into the soil, it works.
So it starts from you and me.
That's
we
right.
need an orientation. And as you said, it's the head. But if only a head starts it and other opposing heads will not politicize it, that means we are going for it. Other than that, we'll always be doing politics, and we really see where we are going.
Thank you, Honorable, for speaking
Thank
to
you
us,
very much,
Papa Law Radio. In fact, I want to say this. You spoke as, I like the fact that you did not do politics here. So get ready for the champions. You stand up for the champions. In fact, City played a draw game yesterday, 1-1. Brighton wanted to brighten their chances for the next season, but they had a point. Anyway, as our City players had already started the enjoyment and all that, so, and then Vinicius, everybody wore number 20 jersey. All right, Eric Menz is here. Professor,
Yes, good morning once again. Yes, it's interesting, Papa.
How you doing?
I'm doing very fine.
The family and everyone.
Everyone is doing fine. I hope your side.
The Lord is faithful. We are bouncing around.
We thank God. We thank God.
It's time to stand up for the champion.
Exactly.
What's happening?
A lot is happening in the world of sports. Yes. Yesterday, as you said, Vinicius Junior still.
The guy's influence.
Yes,
oh my goodness.
For three consecutive days, still in the news.
Just one man.
One man, yes.
Sometimes it takes just one man, one message to change the perception of the world.
Yes. Yeah, so aside that, even the female team of Real Madrid also were in the number. Yeah, they did
20.
the same 20, number 20 all over to just show.
What a nostalgic moment.
To their brother.
Solidarity,
I mean. And it's very important, some of these things. But for me personally, I think it's never going to change. La Liga especially, we've had incidents of this. Samuel Eto'o had the same incident.
Yeah, I remember.
The Barcelona players were even not going close. Yesterday, Xavi was also in the news making a comment that he thinks the red card shouldn't have been re-sanctioned. Yes, he thought that whatever decision has been taken and those who are culpable are being punished. So they should
be upheld.
Yes, the red card because of his nature, what he did. So it really doesn't really call for the red card to be changed. Right. So obviously it should stand. As in the red card, the sportsmanship should stand. People were saying even when Eto'o's incident happened, actually Barcelona players. They are
couldn't support.
Yes,
I remember that.
Yeah. Maybe Saturday we showed a video.
That's right.
Yeah, you could see how
he was so furious
was happening. Yeah,
but Vinicius got it right. Spot on. Everybody was on his side.
Yeah, so I think that came into the news and caused a whole lot of issues and talks here and there. Yes, and that is interesting one coming from Spain. Yes, that's and right. Yesterday. There was a very, very strange incident that happened in the world of sports. Yes, a Ghanaian player named Joel Kujo. Yes, at 24 years of age, who plays in Kazakhstan.
Wow.
Yes, yesterday, as we are ending the season,
Kazakhstan is now doing well.
Yeah, they've naturalized the player, so he's going to play for the national team. And people were surprised. Who is even this player? That is how we are losing assets to. Foreign
we are sporting them.
Exactly. So that is some news coming from that. Yesterday, yes, interesting. There were some matches that came as in Real Madrid and Real Sociedad.
That's right.
And
they had to win.
Yes, they had to win to at least send a message across, and it was an important win to them. Yes, and England, there was some conversation. Very interesting, Papa. The English national team, the coach, Southgate brought out the list. For the players who have been called to the national team, and there's a Nigerian in there. Yes, wow. I want to read the lineup here, the call up. Sorry, so we have Sam Johnson, Jordan Pickford, that's for Everton, Aaron Ramsdale, Arsenal keeper, Arnold, Trex and Arnold, that is Liverpool. Yes, Louis Dunk from Brighton, Guhi from Crystal Palace, and Harry Maguire, who might be leaving Manchester United this particular season.
Wow.
Yes, it's also in there as well. Yeah, Troy Mings also in there.
The man who scores own goals.
Yes. You know, the funny thing, he has scored in his career, he has scored 10 goals. And 7 of that is on goal. So... Yes, we have.
That's why I'm sure it's coming from home. If it's Africa, we will jujulize everything.
Everything, yes. Eberichi Eze, who has been found there. Wow. The surprising thing about this particular chap is, I think some years ago, I think in 2017, he was part of the Nigerian national team.
Okay.
Yeah, it was called
the senior team.
The senior team, with Iwobi and the likes. Wow. Yeah. He came. On Sunday, a match was actually cancelled. Yes, but he trained with the squad, played a friendly match. Yes, and
now the FIFA rules says you can play, but
it should be an international match. Yes, so if it's friendly, it really doesn't count. Yeah, so
the guy was lucky.
Yeah, their match against Burkina Faso was, although the friendly was cancelled, he trained and played in a practical match with the Super Eagles in London. Yes, and as I said, I hope to play more for the Nigeria national team. Yes, since then, he has been representing the England under 20 and the 21 and now the senior team. Yes, I think even in some news, they said the coach of the Nigerian national team, yes, has been calling Ganot, has been calling him consistently. So he has even changed the SIM because of that. He just don't want to have anything to do with
Africa
ties. So
I think per experience, they look at some players who have been treated badly, not giving more playing time, and that jealousy in the camp, and who is better in what. African mentality. It will take a long time for us to come out of that mess.
I think with time, hopefully. But
I had issue when this guy naturalized for Ghana. This new guy in the Black Stars squad.
Just recent one.
The one who cannot score just one goal.
Inaki Williams.
Inaki. I had an issue. The brother went to Spain.
Yes.
I wanted him to go there.
He was.
We saw Kevin fantastic guy.
Inaki wanted to play for the Spanish national team. However, what happened is, there are racist chants and stuff like that. What happened was, he waited for his opportunity. In fact, he played for the national team by the friendly match. So he was waiting for the opportunity. So if you remember, when Ghana approached him, he said he feel more Spanish than Ghanaian, so it would take time. But getting to the World Cup, looking at the age, 29 years. Yes, World Cup only happened 4 years every year. So let's say 29 years. The next 4 years will be 33 or something, and you
won't have playing
time. Exactly. So he prioritized that and said, okay, I will be available for Ghana national
what
team.
Messi can do, Inaki cannot.
No. Even Ronaldo at 38 is still scoring goals. Yesterday he was in the scoreline as well. They won 3-2.
It's my man.
In fact, they are qualifying for the Asian Africa Championship, Champions League. Yeah, so they are also
definitely they will.
But the Etihad is leading their league log with just 2 points. And left with only 3 matches or so. So anything can happen.
Sure.
So yes, so still in the camp of Barcelona, there's some interesting news. Jordi Alba, officially leaves Barcelona. Yes, yesterday officially came out that he's ending the contract with Barcelona. Yes, official confirmed it's over between Barcelona and Jordi Alba. Yes, the Spanish left back. Yes, exactly. He played 458 appearance for the Catalonians, so and won 6 La Ligas, 1 Champions League, 1 UEFA Super League, 1 FIFA Club World Cup, 4 Spanish Super Cup, and 5 Copa del Rey. That is interesting, very interesting career. Yes, so that is some news from that side. And let's go to England. There's some news from Chelsea football fraternity, and it's interesting.
Chelsea, they were even lucky they were not relegated.
Exactly. Every football season, after the end of every football season, they have this club awards, CS2 awards, best players in the league in their team to push them to do much more next season. Yes, so Chelsea have scrapped the end of season award following their
what are they going to award?
They have miserable campaign. So
it's only in Ghana where the UN can honor
award and
the most. He even honored some of your football.
He said even target at some other and the rest. So
they were lucky on that one.
They were lucky.
That guy is a tough nut to crack.
He's a very smart guy.
Very sure. I'll bring him here.
There are award ceremonies going on which are not credible. So we just have to be careful out there. All right. So yes. And still in the news, yesterday, Inter Milan, the opponent to face Manchester City won the Coppa Italia. That is their FA Cup. They won it. So, and their coach, Inzaghi, has actually won 5 out of 6 finals he has been to. So, that is the
possibility is going to win again.
Anything can happen in the world of football. Yesterday, as you said, Manchester City no, actually it was a draw game. 1-1. Yes, and just more like a deserving draw for Brighton, because they even had to win that match, but they have sealed their qualification for European Champions, Europa League next season, and that
Brighton has done well.
For the first time in their football history. That is a remarkable achievement.
I like the way they played.
No, even Guardiola said their coach, the players should kill themselves for the coach, because it's the best they could have at the moment. I think that is a very.
Yesterday, Haaland was just jogging up,
and he said, I think they've after the match, Guardiola said he realized that they've drank all the alcohol in Manchester. So
I know those guys can drink.
They drink. They couldn't even travel with, I think, 6 of their players.
That's right.
People are assuming that they might be still be
broke.
So, that's some interesting one. Yes, then I will take some news from the Gabon national team. Yes, they will be playing at DR Congo, and Aubameyang has been recalled to the national team. Yes, Aubameyang retired from the national team last year, and the new president of the country has called him that he should come back.
He was Bongo's fantastic favorite guy. Even the wife, you remember that?
Yeah.
The wife was just hugging the guy. He said, "Hey." The man was just spying on the wife. He said, "Hey, be careful." This hugging,
that is how interesting one. All right. So yesterday, the Premier League announced that the 2023-2024 transfer windows will run from 14th June to 1st September.
Okay.
Yes, that is a football fraternity with plan. They've already outlined their plan for next season. Yes, so 14th June to 1st September, the football transfer season will commence.
Henry Asante, the communication officer, said something yesterday. I don't know if you followed that story. He claimed that people are not going to the stadium, fans are not going to the stadium because of inconsistency. Kotoko wins today, the next day they pay. How did they come from? Say, DBA is they have to Kotoko for.
I think that's not in the right direction. The FA should come into this. The football is not attractive. It doesn't matter. We have teams going on relegation in the EPL. Every day their stadiums are packed, fully packed. So you can't tell me because they are not consistent.
You got
that's
that.
why we
you
have
got that right.
Go to before Burnley were going on relegation. Southampton are on
place is packed,
fully packed.
Not
even home matches, away matches. They are fully packed. They travel all the way miles. Southampton is in Wales, but they play in the English Premier League.
So Ghana's
I think the
sport.
Brand is
the
not
problem
attractive.
is leadership.
Exactly, the brand is not attractive. Randiabe the same FA
because those days people could go to the stadium
just like that.
As early as 12 midday, the place is jammed,
fully packed,
just waiting for the sun to set for their favorite to come. And at the time, look at the boots these guys were using. Those old boots,
even professional then. Look at Randiabe yesterday was also in the news that he thinks that is because of the referee's performance. That's why the stadiums are not good. And
I think the goals are hunting them.
Yes, they are. Sure. And talking on that, let me just go on this news. Kurt Okreku is also in the news that he doesn't think the election coming. It's 5 months from now to the election. He doesn't think the election will even come on because he thinks he's much more focused on the work he's doing than election. And even his team, people have started going to see potential candidates who might contest him to go unopposed, that they're going to give him position in the FA, so they should just go unopposed. That's the strategy they are using. But regardless,
that guy should be contested.
We are just hoping that things will change.
Telling you,
because as it stands now, it looks.
My problem in Africa, it cuts across.
Yeah.
If you come and you can't perform, let's stop this. Let the person be there for some time. For what? For Christ's sake, for what? No, before you come in as a reserve player, you should know the game plan.
Exactly.
It's not, I'm now in, I'm trying to warm up. No. You should have a plan.
You're always trying to see what happens. And all right, so yesterday, there was the Under 20 World Cup has started. Ghana couldn't qualify.
That's right.
So that is why we are not hearing a lot of news from that. Yes, yesterday, Nigerians beat Italy 2-0. Wow. Yes, and they might be taking on Brazil. That was the group of death. So as it stands now, Group A, Argentina, Uzbekistan, Guatemala, and New Zealand, they form Group A. Yes, and Group B, USA, Ecuador, Fiji, and Slovakia. So that is for Group B. And Group C, Senegal. They won their first match. Yes, they won their first match against Japan. Yes, and against Israel. So Senegal, Japan, Israel, and Colombia. They consist of Group C. And Group D is made of the group of death. That is Italy, Brazil, Nigeria, and Dominican Republic.
If religion wins,
Israel.
Israel will be the first.
Yes, because they are the
that mentality.
The country for God anyway. So Group E,
Ghanaians will be praying for Black Stars. The day we pray more and fast, they lose.
So Group E is Uruguay, Iraq, England, and Tunisia. Yes, and Group F is France, Korea Republic, the Gambia, and Honduras. So that is interesting one from that particular angle. And there's a very, very important one. Yes, this is a very one I'm very happy about.
Okay.
Burna Boy has been called to perform at the final of the Champions
Beautiful.
League. Yes,
That guy,
so exactly. The Champions League, an African player. Mostly there were still question mark because it's not from Europe. It's an European championship, and even African Champions League, we don't even have such opportunity.
That's right.
How much more Europe? So and
It's
the
a
question
blessing.
came out that Pepsi, being the head sponsors, invited. It's more like he's a brand ambassador for them, so they invited him to come over and perform. All right, so that is an interesting one for the African continent. That it's a win for the African continent. Yeah, so that is some interesting news, interesting one. Papa, and there's something strange that is happening. They said the Champions League, they believe it's a scripted one because of some scenarios. Let me just read this 2-3 headlines.
Okay.
Every time Argentina have won the World Cup, that is 1978, 1986, and 2022. That is
the 2022 that I know they wanted Messi to win. That's
they said anytime Argentina have won the World Cup, a team that has never won the Champions League wins. So basically, Manchester City. And look at this one too. Every team that has won the Champions League this century has either a Spanish or a Brazilian in their team.
Okay.
Inter Milan has none of them. Manchester City,
Man City
have. And the last time Fulham finished above Chelsea was in 1983. Wow. Yes, that year it happened. That year, a team that has never won a Champions League won it for the first time, beating an Italian team in the final.
Wow.
So that is another one there.
People are deep. These are deep research.
Yes, and they said the last time Pep Guardiola faced Bayern Munich in the Champions League final was on 8th June or July. Yes,
that's right.
They drew that match, and the second leg away, Pep won, and that season Pep won the Champions League with Barcelona. Wow. So it has that
dynamics.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So the last two times Bayern Munich, they didn't win the Bundesliga in 2010 and 2011. Pep Guardiola won the Champions League. So it has a series of events that they are seeing that year. So
per this analogy, I believe that it's doable.
I mean, exactly.
City's going to win. And looking at they are top notch. I mean, this season they played well.
Yeah.
So I foresee them. I mean, lifting the cup. Unless Inter Milan
they have their game,
call their powers that be.
Yes, so
they are against FC.
So yes, coming to the Ghana Premier League.
That's right.
There's some matches coming to play, and there's a strange one from Ashanti Gold. Yes, the sponsors for Mediama FC has promised the team that if they win the league, they will be giving $2 million. Yes,
$2 million.
$2 million. So
promise to Ashanti Gold.
Yeah, now to Mediama. Now they are leading Ashanti Gold Company, the gold company. Yeah, they make that promise too. Wow. Because now they don't have Ash Gold there again. Ash Gold has been disbanded by the FA. So now they don't have the support is on with Mediama, and Mediama now leading the league log. Yes, so $2 million can do a lot for them.
I'm telling you.
That is the promise from their
$2 million.
Yes, that is from their head sponsor.
When I hear dollars, I'm happy.
It's very important, Papa. Money is very important.
Dollars?
Yes. So the match day 32, yes, for the Ghana Premier League, yes, it's happening. It's starting from tomorrow. Yeah, we have Mediama taking on King Faisal. Okay. And this match might send King Faisal to relegation. And
if they lose,
Alaji Gusa was also in the news that
Alaji,
one of these will call him and he will call him and talk to him. Yes. So Adriana FC will be taking on Dreams FC. Adriana will be taking on Dreams FC, and Tamale City will be taking on FC Samatex as well, and Legon City will be taking Accra Heart of Oak, who are now doing so poor in the league. Yes, they will be meeting Legon Cities, and Bibiani Gold Stars will be taking on Kochuku Royals, and Brekum Chelsea will be taking on Instretaman FC, and Accra Great Olympics will be taking on Accra Lions also, and RTU will be taking on Bechem United, and Kumasi Asante Kotoko will be taking on Karela United. All right, so that will be for match day 32 in the Ghana Premier League. Yes, Papa, So this is how we will end the news today. Yes. But there's last one. I wanted to do some last one on the NBA playoff. Yes.
Okay.
We need to do some basketball for the basketball lovers. Yes. Yesterday the Boston Athletic versus Miami Heat. Yes, it was a very important one. That
anyway, my team is Rangers.
That's fine. They are. I think they are in the semi-final now, qualifying for the final for the North Conference. So
I have their staff.
That is very nice one. Yeah. So they beat Miami Heat to keep their hopes alive in the semi-final. So we'll be bringing more details probably on Saturday, and we'll go from there. All right. So this is how we'll end today's sports news. Yes.
The name remains Eric Mens, the professor of sport. Thank you very much. Stand up for the champions.
Here we go. It's getting close.
It's 8:37 in the studios of Papalo Radio. We're streaming live on www.modernghana.com, onlineradiobox.com. All right, or might be a year. If you knew me, me co break me bar. The politicians will speak.
Bayan sapusu wo munibia wan kana asam. Say ma futu sam kakre wa supeme. Yo kofi o man ya woman. O man ya mama. Geni baby ako. Wacha za ya wareni. Wonsom wanini pa. Asa dipa wo fio ye. Yamo yembera ye. Ebe ya ifiyana. Omaya umano. Omaya mamana. Adi waya nora. Nyamichata. Nyamana renya. Wonso wanini pa. Sawaya wanabe. Yamo yembera ye. Ebe ya ifiyana. Wonso wanini pa. Zazepa ofioyo kamo yemberaye abeya efiana amabeya efiana amabeyo asitebeya efiana oh amabeya efiana yana kamo yemberaye abeya obrayu arabo Efiana, Eminoa, Camo Emirae, Abeya, Efiana, Ese, Amabeya, Efiana, Abraya, Sabeya, Efiana, Ao, Amabeya, Efiana, Camo Emirae, Abeya. Can you breathe the wafa? Simpower yes na winya. Yami shira, omani paya zefoa. Enyanum. Yafanya misroye jumana nyami besroyen. Obraya boya. Emoya muraye. Ebeya efiyanara. Omabeya efiyanara. Ejanuma pofo. Asitlebeya efiyanara. Omabeya efiyanara. Ajiche. Emoya muraye. Ebeya. asampa etia obayansafo so wo mu ne won kana asam say ma futu sam kakre wa supeme yo kofi oh my ya woman oh man ya mama genyi baby ako wacha za ya wareni Bonsom, wanyinyi pa, asade pa wofioye. Demo yemberaye, ebe ya efiyena. Omaya umano, omaya mamana. Adiwaye nora, nyamichata, nyamana renya. Bonsom, wanyinyi pa, sawaya wanabe. Demo yemberaye. Yamishira, Omani Paya, the Foa, and Yanum. Kafanya Mistroya, Jumana, Yami Besrayan, O'Brien, Boya,
All right, I'll mind be ye Feminum Nuara. Stick and stay right here. This is Papalo Radio. We're streaming live on www.modernghana.com, online radiobox.com. 45 minutes gone past the hour. 8 a.m. GMT in the studios of Papalo Radio. I have on the line this great man. He speaks with experience. He's part of the MPP. He's actually the assistant communication director for Greater Accra, the MPP, and he's also a media coordinator for the MPP. Honorable Jesse Appiah. Honorable, good morning. All right, we lost him, so we'll do our possible best to reconnect Honorable Jesse Appiah. All right, so Mpɔtam morning show. Let me acknowledge our sponsors, Nana One Shoes. All right, so Honorable, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome to Papalo Radio Mpɔtam morning show.
Okay, sir. It's a pleasure to have me. I'm greeting all your audience, both audio and video who are joining me via video.
That's right.
We're grateful for the opportunity.
That's fine.
Like I always say, when we have the opportunity to appear on radio and TV, it's an opportunity to educate and inform people. So we do our best to, as much as possible, to discuss the issues that should be discussed and not to do politics with them.
That's right.
So it's a pleasure to have me, sir.
I'm a living witness of what you are made of. So I can
Thank
tell
you.
listeners
Thank
that
you very much,
they are speaking to the right person. Honorable, how are you doing? How's the family?
By the grace of God, let me go back to one of the famous quotations I make, that whenever you wake up in the morning, it means that the Lord has an assignment for you.
That's right.
Wow. expect that the duties that He would assign to us will be able to do it to the best of our abilities.
God is good all the time, and all the time the Lord is good. Now, Honorable, let's start off with the IMF agreement. The president has been very emphatic that he and his government are the IMF not because of gross mismanagement, but he's there because of external shocks. The Russian-Ukraine war, he cited the COVID-19 pandemic as well. Last week we had the first tranche, 600 million US dollars, and the rest will also follow based on how we discipline ourselves financially. Your take on this one: why is the MPP government at the IMF when we know very well that the MPP said we are not going to the IMF? We have the resources, we have the man. Your take on this one, Honorable?
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity once again.
That's fine.
I think that anybody who wants to do politics with the economy, first of all, must go back to how our country was performing. At a point, I think that we were rated the best performing economy, the third in the world. At a point, when we were at the helm, we have been at the helm of affairs.
That's right.
Things actually took a nosedive when COVID struck. And normally when you talk about COVID, people say that, why is it that you're talking about COVID? COVID was an international, or is an international pandemic. And I would want to I'm sure one day you may have the opportunity to conduct an interview.
That's right.
And ask people what will happen to any economy when it has to shut for a month. What will happen to any economy when it has to shut for a month?
That's right.
You're paying teachers. You're paying almost every category of workers. You remember that they said only essential workers had to go.
That's right.
And you realize that in Ghana, our economy is an informal one. The number of people who are employed in the public sector are less than those who are in the private sector. So if you say that the people in Abosokai should not go to work, if you say that the people in Kantamantu should not go to work, for even a week, look at the shortfall in taxes that we're going to witness. Again, let's come back to taxes. You realize that government had to give some tax allowance rebate to some people as a form of cushioning measure. Ordinarily, this was money that is supposed to be coming to government to further the development agenda. But because COVID came, we had to ensure that these taxes went to people as relief.
Right.
Again, look at the Ghana Entrepreneurship Agency, formerly NBSSI.
That's right.
Look at the amount of money that was given as a form of pushing to industries. You understand?
Sure.
And so if you put all these things together, coupled with the fact that government also had to give water and utility free to a selected number of people, you realize that the economy is really going to be on its knees.
That's right.
Again, let's come back to the food that was supplied to people, food and all that, cooked and uncooked. I'm not even looking at it in terms of quantity, but I was directly involved in the sharing of some of these food because at the point I worked as an assistant to one of the MCEs. And my brother, even for a small community, for you to decide that you're going to give them food, let alone an entire country, you understand, the consequences are going to be dire. And so COVID aside, let's also look at Russia, Ukraine. A lot of the time, people create the impression that Ghana is not part of the international community, and sometimes I laugh. Unfortunately, our former president, who knows best, because I have been following his discussions when he went to Harvard, he talked about how the COVID has affected economies of the world, particularly in Africa, and how he was calling on development partners to forgive some of our debt and also come to our aid. And so, unfortunately, it looks as if
it means he has been inconsistent with his stance, right?
Certainly, and I know that you've seen a number of videos in which when he's been interviewed on international platforms, he said that indeed COVID has hit the economies of Africa so bad. He gives examples of how COVID has devastated Ghana and so on and so forth. You understand?
That's right.
And so it's a bit problematic when we have to do politics with everything, and that is why I say that when I get the opportunity, I say things the way it should be said. Fast forward, let's look at Ukraine, Russia. You realize that the whole world will rely a lot on fuel. And when I talk about fuel, we are talking about crude oil.
That's right.
When it goes into petroleum, our diesel, and what have you.
That's right.
I have been following developments in other parts of the world. Were consistent, even in the United Kingdom, at a point when the war was on, they had to bring in the military to come and ration fuel. You could not, you have your money, but you could not buy more than a certain percentage or a certain amount because they needed to ration fuel so that everybody would get it.
That's right.
I am privy to countries like France, where people actually had to queue to buy fuel, even though the prices were going up.
That's right.
I have had the opportunity to look at countries like Poland, where people hit the streets naked, actually, to protest the consistent hardships that were happening in their country as a result of the war. I have had the opportunity to look at Spain, where people said that they were going on a demonstration for government to give them tax rebate because they felt that in the wake of the war, a lot of the prices were going up, their salary were the same. So either government stays the prices of goods and services, or government should astronomically increase the prices of their items. You understand?
That's right.
Now let's go back to the United Kingdom, then where people went to supermarkets to buy items, and they had to be told that they cannot buy more than a certain amount because they were rationing food. The cost of cooking oil was going up, the cost of flour, and I know you know that Ukraine is one of the leading suppliers of wheat in the world.
That's right.
In Egypt, Egypt, Zimbabwe, who are the #1 consumers of flour, that is in bread. You realize that they had crisis in their countries. You understand?
That's right.
In Ghana, we consume a lot of bread. So when flour is not coming, you realize that we have a lot of issues on our hands. So for anybody to say that the pandemic had not done anything, for anybody to say that the pandemic had done nothing, and for that matter, Nana Akufo-Addo, Dr. Baumia had run the economy down, I would say that they should go back and look at our figures before COVID came in, our figures from 2017, 2018, 2019, and they will know our economy was growing at a point at almost 7.5%. You understand?
That's right.
So for anybody to do a proper comparison without doing,
we should go back and do a proper.
Go back and refer to how the economy was performing.
That's right.
And then come back and let's talk about COVID. Let's come back and talk about
the Russia-Ukraine war.
The Russia-Ukraine war, and then we know that we're in perspective. I will not say that Nana Akufo-Addo has put food on everybody's table. I will not say that we have done the impossible, but at least, to a large extent, Ghana became the shining star of Africa. And in almost every comparison, Ghana was used as the basis for Africa.
Your opponents are always of the view that you guys lie to Ghanaians into power. You promise 1D, 1F, free SHS and the likes. And most of this spending went into your pocket. Your pockets are heavy, but Ghanaians are suffering for it. That is why we are the IMF. What do you say to this?
Chairman, like we go back to the same conversation again, where the former president says that when you need power, you say everything and anything at all. You have to accuse your opponent.
That's right.
And that is exactly what they're doing. If they say that we have lied into power, I'm a strong believer in the fact that you pick MPP's manifesto. You might, if whether you're NDC or you're an MPP, you might get copies of the NDC and MPP's manifesto. Put them under your pillow. When you wake up, before you go back to the post, tell yourself that they said they're going to do this. Have they done it? They said they're going to do this. Have they done it? They said they're going to do this. If they do less than 50% or they do less than 60%, you have every right to go and say that they've not done it. And I think that even though we will not say that we've completed everything we promised, but to a large extent, I think that the NPP can be giving about 75% of our promises that we made to the people. When we talk about one district, one factory, currently we have about 158 of them operating. You know the figures.
That's right.
And if you permit me, maybe I can also.
Yeah, you can.
And obviously, you know that the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Industry is there. You go to their website, you know the number of. At a point, I even had the breakdown of the companies and the number of institutions that are performing. Even not at all. Back in my backyard, Empapio.
Yes.
They're producing water in Tema. That was when I used to be working for Central University. Okay. Now, when you come to Obum Dobiabra constituency, they have a big factory there. They're employing people. You understand?
That's right.
Someone was asking me that when we talk about the Kufi factory, he has not seen any of the juice that they are producing. And once again, I laughed because this was a company that produced juice. The NDC came out to say that why are they calling it eco juice, and that is poison because eco is poison. You understand?
That's right.
We cannot be doing politics all the time
with the economy.
No, we can't. I mean, I believe that where credit is due, let's give credit.
That's
where there is a need for us to criticize, let's be constructive with our criticism.
That's right. That's right. Honorable, there's this headline: China will have access to Ghana's mineral revenue, electricity sales in default of 4 loans. With your permission, I would like to read this one. The International Monetary Fund, that is the IMF, has revealed details about how Ghana's 4 collateralized loans from China have exposed the country to the possibility of losing part of its mineral resources revenue in addition to electricity sales in the future. For Ghana, Chinese loans have been a reliable funding source for major projects since the year 2000. In 2 decades, Accra has racked up close to $5 billion from at least 41 Chinese loans. Honorable, all this period, Ghana has been borrowing from China. We have collateralized loans, and most of our resources, our revenue had been collateralized. We have 8 collateralized loans as we speak. How did we get here? What can we do to be able to sustain this debt?
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, I am a journalist.
That's right.
And so when my people, I call them my people because I'm a trained journalist. I'm a trained communicator. And so I know that in journalism, we have what we call beats.
That's right.
And in beats, you put people on things that they have expertise in.
That's right.
So when you're putting someone on business, when you're putting someone on finance, when you're putting someone on the economy, these are people which you have better understanding of the economy.
That's
people who can understand the technicalities
in it.
Exactly.
That's right.
When you're putting somebody on health, you should have somebody who has expertise in the area.
Sure.
Unfortunately, in our part of the world, we have a lot of generalists.
That's right.
You understand? If we talk about generalists, he's not a technical person.
That's right.
But he goes around in sports, you see him reporting in health, in everything.
Right. That's right.
And I'm sorry to say that this is the kind of reporter that multimedia used for this analysis or for their report. Let me also say that I know that in journalism, we believe in what we call interviewing experts. So even if you don't have the expertise in a particular area, you should speak to people who understand the technical terms.
That's right.
And then you can make your conclusions or whatsoever.
Sure.
But unfortunately, I am tempted to believe that multimedia did something. They didn't do anything of a sort.
That's right.
And let me, for the purpose of education, let me say that we have taken about $2 billion
That's right.
loans from China. 2 billion, emphasis on 2 billion.
As at the end of 2022, right?
Exactly.
That's right.
And you know, these are loans that date back from as far back as 2007.
That's right. From President before, yes.
Exactly.
And
you also,
I think in the first one, 2007, Ghana borrowed 306 for the purpose of the purpose was Bui hydropower project, 400
in
megawatts.
fact, if you were going to give me time, I was going to run you through exactly what we've used these monies for.
Okay.
Out of the 2 billion,
go ahead. We have all the time for you. Please.
Good. Out of the 2 billion, is only 619 that falls under the collateralized arrangements.
That's right.
Good.
Yes.
And some of the projects we use the loans for, like you rightly identified, was the Bui Dam. Some of the loans went into the Atwabo gas pipeline.
That's right.
Some of the loans went into the Tamale interchange.
That's right.
Some of them went into roads in Ahini and its environs.
That's right.
The Jasi kind of the Purposeful Road, some of the money went there. And then the yet to be completed Takrady PTC interchange.
That's
right. And there is a lot more other ones, you understand? If you look at this, how then do you the 619?
That's the collateralized loans.
Yeah. Exactly. So now let's come back here for some education. The IMF, published our debts and publish those that are collateralized.
That's right.
But interestingly, there is nowhere that the IMF stated that Ghana was going to lose its minerals and electricity tariffs when it defaults. As a matter of fact, the IMF never used the word default. You understand? So I think that that publication is an alarmist publication. That publication is a publication, probably to me, that is calculated at diverting attention from some people who are taking some monies from some places in the attempt of lobbying other people. But otherwise, this is mischievous because a media house of that status should not, and I say this again, that they should not be making such mistakes. I hope you understand.
Yes, sir.
Because, I mean, the Professor Bob Quinn and Co, they go to multimedia. We have Professor Lord Mensa.
That's right.
They speak to multimedia. We have Professor John Gachi. They speak to multimedia.
That's right.
So what on earth would make multimedia make such a mistake?
This is a damning, if per what we are saying it is the truth, it's a damning, report, because at the end of the day, Ghanaians are still out of nowhere asking all the questions. Already Ghana is at the IMF, we are there for
Papa Lawrence, let me point you to where multimedia is referring to. In Annex 2 of the IMF report. In fact, if you look at about page 52,
that's right.
That is where it does the risk assessment of the IMF report.
That's right.
There's no way that it lists the country's collateralized debt to China as one of the risks, even when they did the risk assessment, because it does not see Ghana defaulting. You understand?
That's right.
So our collateralized debt is not even one of the risk assessment, is not captured in the risk assessment matrix. So from where is multimedia or whoever published that making that statement? So I want to tell Ghanaians that Ghana does not stand any risk of losing its mineral revenue and electricity sales to China. It does not.
Okay.
And unfortunately, in this part of our world or country, journalists are infallible, more or less.
That's right.
When they make mistakes and you try to correct them, you are seen as attacking the media.
That's right.
Otherwise, in other places, they should come and apologize for the blunder. And I assure Ghanaians that there is no cause for alarm.
All right.
If I've mentioned the documents to you.
That's right.
You can read Annex 2. You can read up to about page 52.
That's right.
That's where the risk assessment is done. There's nothing. In fact, it does not even talk about. It does not make use of the word default. So I don't know where the alarmist report is coming from.
That's right. Honorable, let's look at the debt sustainability. Ghana has a history of drastic spending hikes during electoral cycles, and this proposed increase comes at a time of slowing economic growth, with output expected to fall from 7.46% in 2019 to 5.61% in 2020 and 4.22% by 2022, according to the IMF, as the report states. Are we safe going into elections, our general elections, the presidential and then the parliamentary elections, where we know a lot of spending goes on, government spending? Are we going to shy away from that notion? Ghanaians want to know if our government is not going to spend as we used to do.
I will answer this question in two folds.
That's right.
First one is that the kind of politics we do in our part of the world is a kind of give me before I vote for you. Unfortunately, I have cause to said that the cost of our elections in our country is too high. To become an assemblyman, you need so much. Because you need to pay to get to entice people.
And student politics.
You need to go and pass the people from their homes to the place to come and vote for you after you still induce them.
That's right.
Unfortunately, it happens on every side. And I think that even currently, I think the last time I heard one of the universities, one of the aspirants went to Congress with 300,000 Ghana cedis?
Yeah.
300,000.
Yeah, that's absurd.
Exactly.
Just to win SRC president.
You understand? It's a problem. And I think that to be able to overcome some of these challenges,
that's right.
I think that the debate on state funding of political parties should be looked at again. Because recently, I think some time ago, about some years ago, Reverend Jesse Jackson was convicted for spending his campaign funds on things that were not campaign related.
The law is working. Who is enforcing ours here?
Exactly. You understand? So I believe that we need to look at this, the way we conduct our elections. But the second thing I want to say is that I want to believe His Excellency the President. He's made some bold statements that we're going to engage on cutting expenditure. We're going to live within our means. We're going to make sure that we do not overspend. And I want to believe that the president will walk the talk, because the president is the one who holds the purse. And I hope that he will not be forced to make certain expenditure at getting to the latter stage of the election or in the period of the election. But I believe that we should be able to live within our means in order to be able to meet the conditionalities for the IMF other tranches that are supposed to come.
Honorable, my last but one question. I know you're a very busy person, so that we allow you to go. But I like the fact that you are educating and informing the general populace, those who are listening. I mean, here we dig deep, make sure that whatever we are bringing on board is informing our listeners or audience. Ghana borrows 13.5 billion US dollars from China since 1998. Honorable, have we used these monies judiciously? We know that governance is a continuous process, but we've realized that time and again, previous government and subsequent government keep throwing tantrums left, right, center, arguing with the fact that yes, I started a project, you came, you have abandoned my project. We hear that hue and cry almost every now and then. How do we handle this cancer? It's becoming so cancerous that if care is not taken, everybody will want to hit the fallow ground and start something when they know they don't have the means, the capacity, and the funding, more importantly, the funding to fund the whole project. How do we handle some of these things?
Papa Lawrence,
Yes,
it's a very fundamental question that you've asked.
That's right.
And I think that as a people, we need to have a national development plan.
That's right.
As a people, we need to give credit where credit is due. And I'm going back to a few issues. I was fortunate going back before the 2016 elections. I was fortunate to be part of a group of people who put a certain part of our manifesto together. And I remember a former senior member, a current senior member of our party, I don't want to mention name,
that's fine,
said that when we come, all the projects that the NDC has started, then, and I'm talking about 2016, we will make sure we complete all of them. One member of our party, and I agree with him, said that, no, when we come, let's concentrate on building our own. Because when we are done, we are going to be judged based on what we have started and completed, and not what we have completed. What was started and we have come to complete. And I think that consistently, the NDC had been playing that card. We complete the Tema interchange. When we came, nothing had started. We started and we completed it. The next thing you hear is that, oh, NDC Nekoji is Kaneba, you have not done anything.
That's right.
We go to the Pokwasi interchange, which already had been negotiated. But we came in and said that, no, we can do more with the amount of money we're putting into this. So let's re-engineer it. Let's go for a fourth year.
I remember.
Let's add some auxiliary work to it. The NDC comes up to say that, Nekoji is Kaneba in Timunyere. Now, the NDC who brought the idea of the free SHS, the community.
Yes.
They brought the community SHS. They said they were going to build 200 of them.
Blocks.
At the time they were exiting, they had built about 23 of them.
According to Felix Ofosukwache at the time, the Deputy Minister of Information, he said it's 29.
Okay, the bottom line is that you say you're going to do 200.
That's right.
29 is not even 50% of what you say you're going to do.
Wow. Yeah.
The NPP comes in. As we speak, we've done more than the NDC did of their own free SHS, community schools.
I don't think you have a green book for that.
We don't need to have a green book for that. I think that the project is for the people. And once the people are seeing it, exactly. Once the people are seeing, you need a green book to go and tell the people that we have done this for you. And that is why we do not need a green book to be propagating what we have done. You understand? But what I'm trying to say is that now the issue comes up that, oh, we started the free SHS, we started the community buildings. So whatever you do, the NDC is appropriating it.
That's right.
So the next time you want to start your own project, you understand? You realize that you go to certain places and the chiefs and the people are complaining. But let's come back and look at this analysis. You take money and say that this is what I'm going to use the money for. You spend all the money on the 25, even though you are probably going to build the 250. Who should go and look for extra money to come and continue what you say you're going to do?
That's right.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
So as a people, we need to find a standard, which is the National Development Plan, to say that when we start this is where we're going. You understand?
That's right.
Let me end by telling you about this Seglemi housing project. It is one of the projects that breaks my heart. Because as a young man working and living in Accra, I think that one of the challenges we have as a people is accommodation. The least you can pay for a 2-bedroom house is 1,500. So if you have to look for 2 years advance, we're looking at 36,000. How much would a graduate be earning to be able to raise 36,000 in 2 years to pay for rent?
That's right.
So I think that housing is one of the projects that government can rigorously engage in. You understand?
That's right.
We give a contract to somebody to build 2,000 housing units. I think in the beginning it was about 5,000, if my memory serves me right.
That's right.
About 5,000 housing units. Yeah. We agree on a certain price. We pay him, I think, about 60% of the contract sum.
That's right.
Only for the person to turn around to come and tell government that, though we agree that we're going to build 5,000 housing units, we cannot do 5,000 under the amount that we have agreed on. So we're going to revise it to 2,000. Listen to this. From 5,000, after the contract has been agreed and signed, this man comes to government to renegotiate, and this is under the NDC, that they can do 2,000. They said, no problem. If you can do 2,000, go ahead and do the 2,000. At the end of the day, the contractor builds only 600 of these houses and goes back to government to say that, you know what, you're giving me 80% of the contract sum. There are a few facilities I need to add to the building, but it is conditioned precedent on the fact that you give me the 20% you are owing me so that I can finish the facilities. And people are not angry with the previous government who signed this contract, but people are inciting people against the current NPP government who says that people must go to jail for this stinking project. People go and put pressure on government to say that the housing units are there, people don't have places. Why are you not completing it? When someone has already taken all the money for 2,000 houses and has delivered 600, we are not angry.
What you are saying makes sense.
You understand? Sometimes we play too much politics that we lose sight of, excuse my language, what the wisdom in the issue is. How do you take 80% for 2,000 and say that
come back and tell us that the money is not enough, so
enough to even complete 600
out of 2,000. That is, there's a deficit of 1,400.
You get it. So these are some of the things that we need to be paying attention to. I think that we play too much politics. In the fact that when people default, they go and hide behind politics. Tomorrow you invite them to court, and then all their political party people are following them, political witch hunting. But at the end of the day, we forget that it's the part of the national trade that is being abused. So I think that, first of all, let's have a national development plan. Number two, let's hold people accountable. And again, let's give credit to where credit is due. I think that we can a number of projects can be completed. But for political patronage, they will tell you that we started. I remember when President Kufuor was president, he built very beautiful edifices all over our secondary schools. All over our secondary schools, right?
Yes, sir.
Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has delivered more than 920 projects in all the secondary schools across dormitories, building classrooms, kitchen, dining halls, and what have you. More than 920 projects. And these are significant projects that are captured by Get Fund, Ghana Education. You can find the documents there. Even multimedia has categorized all of these projects that the president has done. Why are we not talking about them? We are not talking about them because the only things that make headlines is the fact that the president must build them from scratch. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Are we saying that every president who comes should come and build a new secondary school? When everybody wants their children to go to, I don't want to mention names of schools, but the A-class schools. So you increase the facilities there to be able to accommodate more people. And that is exactly what we're doing. We build STEM schools. Now look at our own children in Ghana. They're building drones. So very soon we will not need to import drones from outside. Our own people will build and operate the drones. These are the things that we're looking for. So let's prioritize our development, but let's not also be, excuse me, I'm too political with our development.
Honorable, today happens to be Africa's Union Day. Your message to the African continent and Ghana, our motherland.
First of all, I'm proud to be a Ghanaian. I'm proud to be an African. I think that the African is capable of everything. And I say this without any fear or doubt. Our late Professor Alote, a Ghanaian, was working
great
for
mathematicians,
was working for NASA. Do you know that?
Yeah.
And almost, I think, every time here and there, he was going to the United States of America to work for NASA.
That's right.
It is possible. You know that there is a law in mathematics called the Alote's law?
Yes, he actually argued the fact that moving forward, there was an argument about a particular law, and they accepted it. So the Alote law it came into force.
It's so the word is it's possible.
That's right. That's right.
There's one man, I think his name is Mensah. I've forgotten the first name. He is a Ghanaian inventor who lived in the United States. I think he had about 10 or so patents to his name. He's an African. You understand?
That's right.
So what I want to say to Ghanaians, Africans, is that anything we set our heart and mind to, it is possible.
All right. It is
everything
possible.
It's right. Possible.
It's possible. Honorable Jesse Appiah, affectionately known as Carl, thank you so much. We are so grateful, Papa Lord Radio. We pray that one day we'll bring you to the studio and we'll do justice to these topics. Thank you so much. You've really educated us and
my pleasure,
informed us.
My pleasure.
You. Have a blessed day.
And we're also grateful for the job that you're doing.
I'm humbled.
You see, sometimes we feel that, and excuse my language if it doesn't sound well, we feel that you should have a very big radio or TV station to make an impact. No.
That's right.
The education is what is very important. And that is what, unfortunately, the so-called larger stations are doing. They are not educating people. They are misinforming people. So normally, I prefer to be on the smaller stations because that is where a lot of the misinformation go unchallenged.
That's right.
You have someone come to sit on the station and all they do is to throw out propaganda.
That's right.
That is where, because as a teacher, And as a journalist, that is where I also have the opportunity to educate people on matters of national interest. So thank you so much for having me. And it will be a pleasure to speak to you again and again and again.
Sure. Thank you. We are grateful.
My pleasure, sir.
All right. So that was Honorable Jesse Appiah, affectionately known as Car. such a man. I mean, thank you so much for speaking to us. 27 minutes gone past the hour, 9 a.m. GMT in the studios of Papalo Radio. We're streaming live on www.modernghana.com, online radiobox.com. I want you to hit the share button, share the broadcast on your page, on your timeline, send the link to your friends. Show produced by Jude GH, my co-host David Santos. David Santos,
Attorney General.
Today be today.
Yeah, today be today.
I'm going for a break. When I'm back, we'll do the newspaper review and then we'll take it from there.
Okay.
Sampayetia Obayansa Fusu Omunibia Wankana Sam Zema to Sam Kakre was Supeme Yo Kofi Omaya woman Omani Yamana Geni baby Ako Wachaza Zaya Wareni Wonsom Wanini Pa Azadipa Wofioye Demo Emberaye, Abeya, Ifina, Omaya Umano, Omaya Mamana, Adiwaya Nora, Yamitada, Yamana Rena, Wanso, Waninipa, Sawaya, Wanabe, Demo Emberaye, Abeya, Ifina, Wanso, Waninipa. Zazepa ofioyo kamo yambiraye abeya efiana amabeya efiana amabeyo asitebeya efiana oh amabeya efiana yana kamo yambiraye
yemo ebraye or might be a year for me no me and Ghana, a yemino dear. Mpɔtam morning show with Papa Law Perfect. 30 minutes gone past the hour, 9 a.m. GMT in the studios of Papa Law Radio. We're streaming live on www.modernghana.com. We have 30 minutes to end the program, but we have this great honorable member, former member of parliament for Buem constituency, Honorable Daniel Ashiama. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
We are bouncing around by God's grace. Yourself and the family.
God's grace is enough for us.
I like your confidence.
Yeah. The economy has disappointed us.
The economy is buzzing according to the MPP.
Yes. It is also said that you cannot point your left hand to your government. Is that not? So the MPP can never point left hand to that government.
That's right. That's right. I agree with you. How is the farm doing?
The farm is doing very well. Yesterday, I got reports that it has rained very well, and the leaves of my cassava are just buzzing.
You know, Honorable, you can use that to prepare stew. Like, yes. I remember my grandfather was actually an agric officer, so he taught us all this. One time we were
very fresh ones. Maybe one day when I'm coming, I'll bring some to you. So you also prepare you out of it.
Thank you, Honorable. Thank you so much.
It is purely organic.
That's right. All right, Honorable. We have this report in the dailies. China will have access to Ghana's mineral revenue, electricity sales in default of 4 loans, says the IMF. The International Monetary Fund has revealed details about how Ghana's 4 collateralized loans from China have exposed the country to the possibility of losing part of its mineral resource revenue in addition to electricity sales. For Ghana, Chinese loans have been a reliable funding source for major projects since the year 2000. In 2 decades, Accra has racked up close to $5 billion from at least 41 Chinese loans. Honorable, as we speak, Ghana has about 8 collateralized loans, of which 619 are the collateralized loans. Ghana own about $2 billion. Honorable, your take on this subject?
Thank you very much, and I say good morning to your listeners.
Thank you, sir.
Your staff. It is good. It is true that every nation on this earth borrows money.
That's right.
Americans borrow money. No country, I may say, to the best of my knowledge, is self-sufficient. Need some assistance, whether by cash or by material from other countries. So we are living on the basis of interdependence.
You guys call it smart borrowing.
Yeah, that's smart borrowing. Actually, those are the MPP words which do not maybe apply that word smart. The smart is becoming like a slow borrow, where you borrow and you don't repay on time. Now, going forward, you realize that as this nation started borrowing money to take major projects, you go like an individual goes to bank, you want to take a loan.
That's right.
They bring a collateral.
That's right.
So also our nation did in the past. We started from Kwame Nkrumah. He took loans for this Akosombo Dam project.
That's right.
And today, we can still see the Akosombo Dam project standing.
The benefit of it.
40 to 50 years, we can see the project. The problem here that we are facing are that some of the loans that we are mentioning right now, we cannot pinpoint the end point of the project that we've intended to use the money for. Some of the projects too, they are not self-financing. When we talk about self-financing, we take a critical project like Akosombo Dam. The dam generates power. The power is sold. So you have to do a calculation, critical calculation of the whole cost of the generation of the power transmission and all that and the consumption. Then you price your power to the citizenry so that as they pay you, you can take your loan and other things out, salaries, and then even look at expanding it at different parts of the country. Then also you take a critical project like Atuabo gas project. This is another project that can finance itself, and it is financing itself.
That's right.
So when you take a loan to undertake such projects, even if you say, like, excuse me to say, our chief said that if I couldn't deliver, you take my head. You know, by all means, you will deliver.
That's right.
You know, by all means, you will deliver. So there is no fear. Now, we are talking about loans from the 2000, as I've read in some of the reports, until 2018. So we have to do a critical analysis of these projects that we have taken the loans for. Have we completed the loan, the projects in interest of the people? As some coastal processing and other things, those projects inside. Now, if a government of today comes to power and you've seen that some of the past projects are not completed, but the nation has taken a loan for them and used some of our natural resources or our resources for collateral, what did the government of today do about that so that Ghana will not be standing the temptation of defaulting? And China will not have the opportunity of seizing our assets. These are the critical questions we have to be asking ourselves. So, like, we shouldn't be getting to where we are today, that after we have taken the loans, it is the IMF that is coming to pinpoint the unforeseen ills or foreseen ills that may encounter us if we couldn't pay the money. Shouldn't be so. And that is why we are always talking. The NDC took a the Atuabo gas loan. Is he paying? Yes. Even as at now, if we should look into the book, the 1.5 billion, it has paid. They are making profit. But what the NPP people do, instead of leveraging even on that, be paying those loans that are used in the construction, maybe road, so to say, or overhead, which maybe we are not going to put toll booths on them to take the money. You have to leverage on Atuabo gas to pay those debts. They rather appoint multitude of their people, board chairman, and they are siphoning the money as if we are at war with them. They are not using the money to pay. And that is the problem. They appoint so much party apparatchiks to these some of the projects, and they are just taking the money. You can hear the Chamamble and Napo, the Minister for Energy, fight over a contract.
Yes, I saw it in the news.
You see these people.
Napo said it's outrageous. I mean, going into like a whole contract.
These people are not thinking about Ghana. They don't care. And that is why we are here today. And that is why the IMF is telling us that there is a red line ahead of us. If we couldn't pay, my brother, to all sincerity, did you hear this during Mahama time?
No,
that if we couldn't pay this, they would come and take our this and that.
Not per my record. Not per my records.
Not on your record. It has never happened. But when you talk to NPP people, they talk as if they've seen it all. But we are in a mess, led by our finance minister.
Honorable, the MPP is of the view that they have not defaulted. This is an alarmist agenda just to alarm the Ghanaian people, to hold them hostage and try to lose favor before the citizenry. That's exactly what the report seems to achieve.
Yes. If we were to default on that, it would have been a disaster. But for one is to forearm, or for arm is to, what it means is that we are warning the MPP government, the very incompetent government, that we don't want to even hear the word default. You know, when you attend school, they say you work well, good, but there's still room for improvement.
Yes.
That is why we are talking.
That's your teacher's remarks.
Yes. I was a teacher too.
Oh, great.
Yes.
I love teachers. I love teachers a lot.
Yes, you've done well, but there is more room for improvement. They have not done well yet. So we are warning them. Work hard or you repeat the class. That is what we are telling them. They should take it with love, that we are warning them as Ghanaians. It is not IMF that is warning them. The IMF shows us the red flag.
So if the peradventure, if the MPP don't do the needful, you are going to chase them into the bush, right?
Yes, that is
you are chasing the elephant into the bush.
When you take a critical look at MPP now, they themselves know they have failed. So they want to adopt all the orthodox means to win or to break the 8. That is it. But on paper, the academia, Ghanaians who have studied a lot, are just quiet. When I move on the street, I still have my MP sticker on my car. If you listen to how people are warning me, and I have NDC muffler on my dashboard. If you see how people are warning me, more MDC for next time, if you allow these people to steal your vote again, because you have to take that power from them. So they are also hearing. But why are people saying this? Why is my brother?
Has the MPP always been stealing your votes?
That is what the public is saying. I don't know. Why should they warn me?
That's right. All right, Honorable, let's look at this from another angle. I know for a fact that governance is a continuous process. And so if I assess a particular loan when you are in government, you should be able to work and repay the bills or whatever. So let's look at year 2007. Loan amount was $306 million US under His Excellency John Ajekum Kufuor for Bui hydropower project, 400 megawatts, and the sector was power sector, and the collateral was cocoa export. 2012, we borrowed 75. This is about the Chinese loan I'm referring to. So for your own perusal, I just want to go through. 2012, we borrowed $75 million US again for Bui hydropower project. Remember, there was a breakdown of the whole project until 2012. So Bui hydropower project, that is 400 megawatts, and it was the power sector. And then again, the collateral was cocoa export. Again, in 2012, Ghana borrowed $76 million US again for the same project, Bui hydropower project, 400 megawatts. The sector remains unchanged, and the collateral also remain unchanged. 2013, Ghana borrowed $850 million US, Western Corridor Gas Infrastructure Project, Jubilee Oil Field. The same sector. 850. Yes, the same sector. And then here the collateral change, oil export. And then we go to 2013. 2013 again, Ghana borrowed $150 million US. The purpose was Integrated National Security Communications Enhancement Network, that is ALPHA, ALPHA project phase 1. The sector was the ICT, and here the collateral also was unchanged, oil export. 2019, Ghana borrowed $186 million US, construction of 11 coastal fishing landing site project, and the sector was the 2019. Yes, sir. 2019, $186 million US.
Wow. Okay.
Construction of 11. The purpose was for the construction of 11 coastal fishing landing site project, and the sector is the agri sector. Collateral unchanged, oil export. 2019, Ghana again borrowed $150 2019, 211 million US dollars. Accra Intelligent Traffic Management System and road completion. The sector was transport sector, collateral unchanged. 2019 again, Ghana borrowed 550 million US dollars. Construction and rehabilitation of selected roads and interchanges in Ghana.
500 and what?
550. The purpose was construction / rehabilitation of selected roads and interchanges in Ghana. Phase 1. The sector was the transport sector. Bauxite was the collateral. Here, Ghana has borrowed enough. Can we pinpoint or can we have any justification that yes, we borrowed enough and we have used the funds judiciously? Honorable.
Yeah. Thank you very, very much.
Yes, sir.
This is what I said earlier on. That when you take money, you have to put it at a place that project can read for itself. And then you realize that from 2012, the first borrowing for Bui was on cocoa. Yes, we are producing cocoa in this country. Yes, you remember during that time, at Tamil's time, production has increased.
That's right.
Gotten to about 1 million tons of cocoa.
That's right.
That hope was there. And I'm very sure that when you check the record, during NDC time, Kufuor time, there was no default. We have not defaulted.
That's right.
So you realize that the cocoa indicated loan can even be paying, or the production, the money that the government take can be paying for these loans. And so nothing went on untoward. The ICT borrowing in 2013, the oil was used. Why was oil used? You realize that from that 2013, 2014, Mahama have invested in 2 oil fields, the Seine and Ain oil fields, which gives us 50,000 barrels a day at the start. So these 2 oil fields are becoming what? Giving us 100 barrels of oil a day.
In commercial quantities.
And then you've added former President Kufuor's Jubilee Field, 70,000 barrels of oil a day to it. 20,000 barrels of oil at the start in commercial quantities. So the then Atamas Mahama government have seen that, yes, with this oil production, the economy has grown. So we can leverage on it to get things that we don't have. The RCP aspects that we have mentioned was gotten from that. Then, leaving that, moving to 2019, what has happened? 2019, the 186 million went into coastal fish. You've mentioned.
It's 11 coastal fishing landing site project.
Yes, coastal fishing landing site. Has it been built?
We are yet to see.
Has it been built? This is the reason. And you realize that within the 2019, we borrowed ourselves getting to either $1 billion or close to $1 billion. 2019, 3 times we went. And this is the reason why you've seen that I've given you the instances and the type of things that they exist, that the government then, Adam's Mahama government. That is the reason why when MPP people are saying that, oh, the former President Kufuor left a bill of or a debt of 9 billion. We move it to
127.
Yes, 120 billion. You get right.
Honorable, 2019 alone, Ghana borrowed 947 million US dollars.
That is it. So we're close to $1 billion. Very close to $1 billion. Now, put all that from 2000, the money that former President Kufuor and then Atamis Mahama borrowed. If you take it, maybe either less than $500 million or just a little above. So you ask yourself that within this 2019 alone, the money we have taken, have we used the money in such a way that we can see the coastal landing sites? Are they there? About the roads that we've leveraged on the box side, it is only Tamale, the Tamale interchange that His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo started and completed. Apart from that, all the projects are hanging piece. The road minister have printed a book and stole, I am saying this but emphatically, he stole project and put inside that book. The reason why I say he stole the project is that now we are talking about money for which, if we default, our natural resources and our projects will be taken. So we are talking in terms of accountability. How do you spend our money? So if Amakwata will go and put Pokwasi interchange in that book, he is stealing. That is thievery, because that money was not gotten by Nana Addo. It was gotten or taken or added to John Dramani Mahama's project.
Honorable, pause for a breather. Let me put you on the spot now. The one who goes for the funding but was not able to start the project and complete it, as a matter of fact, and the one who has the money to start and finish, who takes the credit?
As you told me earlier on, government governance is continuing.
That's right.
So I agree that there is no problem with it at all. If somebody takes money and left office and you complete, but that one, you can say that you have undertaken the project, but when it comes to accountability and where our money has passed, can that person say that I am
taking responsibility for that?
No, they will not take the responsibility.
Honorable, I asked this question because there's been this buhaha, hue and cry about MPP, NDC. This is my project. This is our project. This is for males. This is not Mohammed's own. This is not Akufo-Addo's own. Meanwhile, we have eyes to see. The president said in one of his messages during he said he's worked a lot, and those who cannot see, he's sorry he can't help them, but they should open their eyes and they will see the project or the infrastructures he has put across the country. So I ask this for our viewers and listeners to be certain about this. Who takes the credit? Yes.
I thank you so much. And I think this is a new chapter of asking government for accountability.
That's right.
My dear listeners, let us know. I will never say that it's not Nana Addo who supervised the construction of Pokwasi project. It is Nana Addo's government. We will never say that it is not Nana Addo who supervised Tema motorway runabout interchange. It is Nana Addo and Amakwata who supervised the construction. But we must look at another chapter. Who put the money for the project to be undertaken? Because Ghana, when we talk of governance, we are talking about money and accountability. The Temamoto Way runabout interchange is not financed by government of Ghana. It is Japanese grant. So when we are looking for who pay for it, it is the Japanese. So if you allow MPP people to put that project in their book and they tell you that we spend so much on this or the loans we have taken, there is a noise at your end, please.
Honorable, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, the project or the money we are taking, the Temamoto Way interchange is inclusive. Then the person is stealing.
Honorable, is it okay? You were talking about
okay. Yeah, it's okay now. If the person tells you that Pokwasi interchange, we have built it with which money? If they say it is their project, then they are stealing, because we are talking about accountability. But the construction, we give credit to them. Nana Addo, we thank you, you have done that. It is good. Mahama got the money, you construct. Nana Addo, we thank you. Amakwata, we thank you. Temamoto Way interchange, Japanese gave us grant. you supervise the construction. That is okay. You get Obichedi Lante, the first phase. Oh, Nanado, we thank you. Mahama, look for the money. You came to construct. Because we must be chasing our cities and pesos now. That is what we should be chasing. So we should not be sitting down and then we did this, we did it. They are all lying to us because we are looking at where our monies have gone. If you have taken close to 1 billion in only 2019, the coastal landing sites ready. If you have taken the money, if they've not taken the money, they should come out and tell us that we have taken so and so, left with so and so, because the releases sometimes they are very gradual. So we have to know all these things before we will be happy or afraid of default ahead, which will not allow MPP to put us inside. No government has default like they have done never before in the Fourth Republic. No government have brought in domestic debt exchange like they have brought never in the Fourth Republic. So when these people are telling that we have not defaulted yet, we have to what? Warn them, continue, warn them that we don't want to go there. That is the problem that we are having today. The money they have taken, it is time loving Ghanaians to about the landing sites. You have taken the money. Have you completed the job? When you come to Nungwa barrier here, they say that project is Sino-Hydro. The project is hanging. Is it that they have not given you the money, or they've given you the money, you chop finish and you couldn't complete the job? Those are the things we have to ask ourselves.
All right. Honorable, the chop there. Let's see how it goes. In the coming months, I should say, Ghana has a history of drastic spending hikes during electoral cycles. And this proposed increase comes at a time of slowing economic growth, with output expected to fall from 7.46% in 2019 to 5.61% in 2020 and 4.22% by 2022, according to the IMF. Honorable, how do we curtail these unnecessary spending, especially by government machinery during elections, especially our general elections? How do we handle some of these things so that our economy will not suffer after the election? Because we realize that our spending goes up a lot during electoral cycles or seasons, and then we suffer for it in the subsequent years. How do we handle some of these things?
The way we have to handle it is, maybe the MPP will not like, they should contact sector. But they will not like it when you mention his name, because he has spending people.
We need solutions.
In the year 2016, the election year, the government did not ask Bank of Ghana to print money for it. We had Dumso that they were acclaiming always we under Dumso. The government then was able to manage. They financed the budget. We financed our budget. The portion that Ghana has to finance, the government of Ghana financed it without even asking for Bank of Ghana to print money for them. So we have had good experience in the past before. And they have to refer to those things. And the only problem that we have today is Kenoforiata and Baumia. These are the people, the chairman of the economic management team, and then the finance minister. They speak with fantasy words and deliver wickedness to the people and the businesses of this country. And I pray to the president of this country that Kenoforiata must go. I don't hate him for anything. But this man has wear white and deceived us and launched us into debt. And that is why the trust for this person is no more there for Ghanaians. Some of us, when we see him, I don't hate him, but I don't like it. Where he's occupying, you hear him telling the government again, and the president coming out to say that they will be going back to the capital market. Did you hear them?
Yes, to borrow again at the Qatar Forum.
Does that make sense when we are seeing red flags ahead? Does that make sense? So they are not ready to tighten their belt at all.
But they're asking the citizens to tighten their belt, right?
Today, the judiciary,
they are on strike. They are on strike. Unfortunately, the CJ is on retirement, and within this same period, the judicial service is on strike as well.
So that is what Ghanaians must wake up. This is not about NDC or MPP. Let us call a spade, but not a digging tool. We have to be on this government. They have been so reckless, and the president, with all due respect to him, doesn't know his role. He doesn't know his role. So things are just thrown ajar. The person who we have appointed, the president have appointed to be his running mate, to make sure that the economic situation of this country moves on well. Today he'll tell you he's on ICT. Tomorrow he'll tell you he's selling gold. And Kenos Oforata is moving on recklessly, borrowing without plan, and they are spending without reasoning, with all due respect to them. Not as person, but as a government, they spend without reason. And they launch us into debt. So we still have Ghanaians, very competent Ghanaians, that they need to bring to their fold. It is not about sharing money on the election day. It is about securing the future of our young ones.
That's right.
And especially so those that you have opened the free SHS for. After completing the free SHS, the question is what next? Now you've opened the free SHS, the enrollment has increased. You have not opened up the economy in terms of creating jobs for these people to to get work to do. The universities are choked and they are charging exorbitant prices. The vice president is there wanting to be president, but forgetting his role that he must play for this nation. So that is a big problem, and the corporate Ghana must speak. Unfortunately, the corporate Ghana, the real Ghanaian business citizens becomes quiet. This government has been anti-business citizen, indigenous business, anti-indigenous business. When you are prospering in your business, they destroy your business. So the chief executives, they cannot talk. That is the situation in which we find ourselves. And so now it is free for all advice to them. We must continue to talk on the radio, on TV, communities. Let us wake up. These people has put the nation on a very bad footage, and it is going to affect all of us. Did you hear what IMF said about the free SHS? They say it's just about quantity without quality. Mahama said, let us review it. They say Mahama says you cancel. I don't know whether this small English of review has beaten the whole of the MPP government machinery. I don't understand this. So this is the situation we find ourselves. Dear fellow Ghanaians, we must fight for our nation. We should be fighting for political party. The political parties, to me and others, are begging people to vote for MPP so that he can go on to destroy the forest. He is just thinking about doing gold business. And how he does it, he doesn't care. When water bodies are polluted, he doesn't care. When the forests are destroyed, he doesn't care. It is an MPP chief executive who gave license for 47 forest reserves to be destroyed in the name of Galamsey. They don't care. These are the people, they don't care. So we need to pray and advise them. We are not going to take a gun. The nation belongs to us. What they have done to this country, they have destroyed the next generation, getting to the third generation. They have destroyed the youth, because the youth will finish school without jobs. And so the youth become so much, somebody used some word, not energized. You see, they are radicalized. The youth have been radicalized in everything. When it is election, you give them money to go and distribute, they will collect that money. They should tell them no. They should tell them no. You are distributing money, but I don't have a monthly salary job. You did not create the jobs. Look at this Gihok today. Look at the state. The NDs have rehabilitated Gihok very well and hand it over to MPP. Go and see there today. They have destroyed the place. The workers are asking for even their sleep payments. That is what it is. So there is no sector in this country that you can point to me as we sit down today that Nanado has performed creditably and improving. If I don't, you can mention it to me.
Honorable, don't worry. Because of time, tomorrow I'll call you and then we'll take it sector by sector so that we do justice to it. We appreciate you on our platform always. Please, your final words.
My final words is, dear Can, the time is up for us.
That's right.
We belong to different political parties. We belong to different ethnic groups. But what it is now, everybody must be alert and speak truth to power. You should insult, but we will have to look at our financial positions. The position of Ghana in the global financial scalings. And we know what we should tell our people.
That's right.
That please, government, stop spending recklessly. The all the useless projects must be held on. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. Medekuku, stop spending unnecessarily, right?
Thank you.
All right, Honorable Daniel Ashaman, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. God bless you. That was Honorable Daniel Ashaman. Santos, today we've gone too far. We've eaten into the time of Angel of the Airwaves.
Yes.
The Angel of the Airwaves. Somebody was talking about her throughout yesterday. The person was enjoying the cool music. Anyway, may the soul of Tina Turner rest in perfect peace. She's one of the fantastic R&B, rock and roll, and she's played her part, paid her dues well, and she's gone at age 83. David Santos,
Attorney General.
the politicians have spoken. You have 10 minutes. Do justice to it.
Okay. Because I have 10 minutes.
I know you have a lot.
Yes, because I have 10 minutes.
That's right.
Let me get that all and vomit at once.
Go ahead. Gather them and vomit them.
Okay. Attorney.
Yes, sir.
No amount of intelligent speech will stop these people from borrowing.
That's right.
And no amount of education or whatever we talk here will stop them from giving out our natural resources.
Ghana borrowed 2019 alone $947 million.
What is wrong with us? Attorney.
Yes, sir.
The only thing that can stop this nonsense is that, you know, these monetary funds, they have to put injunction on us.
That what Bobisiano do memebium.
Upeska dodo.
You want them to blacklist us.
That is what I'm telling you. That is the only thing that can stop us.
I think you are making a good assertion.
Okay.
You don't qualify for it. Like walking into a bank, wanting to take a loan or secure a loan, and you are told that
you don't qualify.
You don't have. You don't qualify.
Even MTN, if you want to take their loan, they assess you.
That's right.
When say who there is 05.
That's right.
If you are 05, you don't qualify. But when yours is 02, go in and say no, you have been in the system for long. So your mind day, so they can give it to you.
They can trust you.
Yes. Attorney. Secondly, the review of our constitution has to come on.
It's bound to happen.
Yes, and they need people like us, very intelligent people like you, to do the review.
In fact, for your own perusal,
okay,
the constitution was drawn together with artisans,
okay,
hairdressers, dressmakers who help in formulating the constitution. Yeah.
Oh,
the NPP actually boycotted it because NDC was in power. If you don't know, for your own perusal,
I have to go to my dictionary again and do justice to that. I don't know. You are telling me. Thank you so much.
That's the reality.
Attorney.
Yes, sir.
And in the 1992 constitution, for me, it's a caked one for me. Because you can't be using 1992 constitution to be playing the formation now because the system has changed. So when we have in it that from next year to 20 or 30 years, Ghana is not going anywhere to borrow money from anybody. The only country that has borrowed money for all the countries in the whole world where is Ghana. The IMF is there to help us. We went there 17th time. What is wrong with us? Attorney.
Yes, sir.
Today, I just have 10 minutes, so I have to make it quick.
Go ahead.
Attorney.
Even saying I have 10 minutes, you are wasting your own time.
Yes.
So
Attorney, I have realized that from First Republic to this Fourth Republic, they've come out, they've discovered that when you go for a loan, you are not going to pay yourself. So everyone, when is your turn, you go. If
government is continuous, I mean.
Yes. So attorney, if you go for a loan and you are not going to pay, when is my turn? When I go, I'll go and take.
That's right.
Yes. So they have discovered that no, if I finish my office and I go on retirement,
that's right,
I'll go home and rest and chop the one that I have taken. I'm not the one who is going to pay.
I think Solomon Asante, the MPP's communication officer, he spoke very well. He did not sound political.
Yeah.
That's one thing I like about him. Carl Jesse appeared to about 70%. I like the fact that let's get to the table or come to the table and do constructive, analysis without any political spectacles.
Yeah.
Where you can't speak true to power because you belong to that party.
Yeah.
Let's accept the fact that we are financially indisciplined.
Yes.
That is how far we have come.
That is it.
So I agree with you on that.
And so, if you happen to be in power, and you've gone for loan,
power is transient.
Yes.
In other words, it can shift. It can go to another part.
Another part. Yes.
You can lose it. It's not forever.
Everyone has to do accountable, or everyone has to be held accountable for every loan that you've gone for. I heard Honorable Daniel Asiama
That's right.
saying that anybody who goes for loan, you should be able to use it tangibly so that that loan can yield more fruit and get more profit so that you can use the profit to go and pay for the debt.
That's actually the whole idea.
Yes.
They have what they call service loans.
Okay.
It means that you borrow the money and start the project, finish the project, and the project will pay for its own costs. Like the Atuabu gas.
Yes.
You know, the Akosobo.
Yes.
He cited a couple of them.
Very, very good example of it. And I agree with him.
That's right.
Honorable.
So in reality, it's not wrong to borrow.
It's not wrong.
But the purpose and
how you be able
to use it,
yes,
is the issue.
It's not the issue. If you say the issue,
but
you
can say yeah.
And so that's not the issue. If you say the issue, I said the whole word. That is our problem here. We don't know. I don't know whether they don't understand the loan that they've gone for. And they won't understand and they won't take their time to read deeply, because if something that you've gone for and you are not the one who is going to be held accountable one day, how you don't even have time. As obi awakwaji busi and brains on di. Obedi no ewo ye kan say. Mint kan. Twina ma.
Onfa dwinto ho.
Obedi no nyafu chua like that. You see, that is our problem. See, this natural, how can you be blessed with all the natural resources in your country? And now that one is as a taking your land too much. And so you be giving it out just like that. And when they ask you, you said you don't have the machines and the things to process it and to make it raw material, so that, and these people will take it and they will say, who told you? We have Dr. Kojo Safo.
Yeah.
Can't he create those machines? But the man is still there.
In fact, yesterday we were educated by this CPP,
yes,
National Youth Organizer. Osei Kofi.
Yes.
He said Kwame Nkrumah actually gave Apostle Kojosa for the opportunity or the privilege to travel out of Ghana, go learn and come back to Ghana in 10 days around. When he came,
they overthrown the man.
They had already overthrew Kwame Nkrumah. And so Apostle Safo, as we speak, had to finance himself and finance his project. I think Kwame Nkrumah gave us 450 factories. MPP came with 1D, 1F. The idea was sold to, they actually discussed with the CPP. The CPP said it's a good idea, a good initiative. So why don't you revamp, renovate these factories that are dormant or had gone on a nosedive, so that at the end of the day, these people can benefit from. So that you don't waste much. The lands are there, the properties must just be renovated, which will reduce the cost of what you have already budgeted for. For whatever reason, the NDC, MPP gave them a deaf ear. Everything went on a deaf ear.
Deaf ear. So you see what I'm saying. This is a practical thing that I'm saying. The man is still there, and you will these people will come for our natural resources. They will go and refine it, process it, and they will bring it back to us.
Any country that have allegiance with China has always been underdeveloped because they come to siphon your resources. I'm telling you. Now Ghana has borrowed so far $13.5 billion US dollars from China since 1998.
1998.
13.5 billion. That money, when you throw it, you spread it in Ghana,
it will cover the whole,
occupy the whole space.
Attorney, I'm
David
ending.
Santos, your final words.
And as I'm ending, all that I'm saying is that
you are ending, but you are not ending.
Yes, I'm ending. I'm ending my pen.
All right.
Attorney.
Yes, sir.
Our leaders will not think, and because they will not think, I will think for them.
That's right.
And this is what I want us to do. They can only think when there is no paper that is showing that we can go and borrow and use our natural resources for collateral.
That's right.
That's the only thing that is going to make us think. So when we are in debt or we are in crisis, nobody have the think tank to think and bring some solutions than to go and borrow. And after borrowing, they will not use it wisely. They will be spreading it. When they are coming, we are spare parts. And you ask them, they are just going to eat. They are blowing horns because we are chaffs. Where they are going, they are going to University of Ghana. They are going to pick their girlfriends. We are opening our eyes. They will hear from us. They should wait. One day, there is one day.
One day is there for everyone. Wonsom, yedinipa na ye. Make sure you do the needful. God keep us and protect us. My co-host, David Santos. All right, so this is where we draw the curtains. It's 20 minutes on top of the hour, 10 a.m. GMT in the studios of Papalo Radio. Mpɔtam morning show with Papalo Perfect. I hope you have been informed, educated, and entertained. I came, I saw, and I conquered. A big thank you to all the team players, Madam Gifty Anane. God bless you, Nana Abba Anai, Kofi, Ohine Ba Kofi Prince. Papa Lloyd Jumaifo, Eric Mens, the professor of sport, Jude GH, my producer. Stick and stay right here. Double Click is a company that is yet to be outdoored. A big shout out to my sponsors: Nana One Shoes, Shaba Rich Photography, Papa Law Farms, Lotte Law, Balloon Decor. Straight up, don't crook it up. I'm out. Be good. And may the face of the Lord shine upon you. Good day.